His race constantly has been one of hurdling obstacles. Now an injury could cause him to miss out on the season of his dreams. Gino Torretta, the winningest quarterback in Miami history. Throughout his career, he's been the leader. Tonight, an individual performance could bring him the game's highest award.
If I win it, and it's going to be definitely a tribute to my teammates.
Yeah, there's no question in my mind that Gino Torretta should win the Heisman.
Marshall, I think deserves the award regardless of whether he plays or not.
He's very much a leader. He's very tough. He takes hits. He does it by example.
He's special. And I think that him being a marked man coming into the year and having the phenomenal year that he's had is a tribute to him.
I don't think they care about who wins. It's whoever put up the better stats.
Hi, everybody. I'm Ron Franklin. Welcome to the final edition of CFA Primetime. And tonight, a head-to-head matchup for the Heisman Trophy between Torretta and Falk. The last time this happened, 1972, between Nebraska and Oklahoma. Remember that one? Johnny Rodgers won the trophy as he battled against Greg Pruitt. Well, it's been well chronicled as far as Marshall Falk is concerned. An injury just last week to his knee on his second carry of the night. No more supposition. Let's go down to the field. They have just completed the pregame warm-ups and get this latest report from Adrian Karsten. Adrian, what happened with it?
Well, Ron, Marshall Falk went through his pregame paces at about half speed, which is far short of that 100% Coach Luganville said he had to be if he was going to play. Let's not speculate. Let's find out for sure. Brian Berry is Director of Sports Medicine here at San Diego State. Brian, what is Marshall's condition? Will he play tonight?
Well, first, if I don't say hi to the Berries, they'll shoot me, so hi, Berries. The condition of his knee through Wednesday and Thursday, we probably had him at best 80%. And with Russ and Tony and all of us working on the sideline rehab and the therapeutic exercise, we were hoping that he'd probably get over it in the 90th percentile. In order for us to release anybody for play, we have to make sure that they're able to protect themselves physically on the field and also be able to perform to the coach's satisfaction.
Can he do that tonight?
No, to that point, he didn't perform to the coach's satisfaction or his satisfaction or our satisfaction. So given that kind of data and input, we decided to hold him for tonight.
All right, whose decision is that? Is that as much Marshall's decision as yours and Coach
very
Luganville?
much so. And Marshall's the kind of guy that's going to give you an honest answer and not absolutely beg to go in if he's not ready to go. He's very, very in tune with his body. Between Al, the physicians, myself, and the other medical staff, we took Marshall's input and went with that decision.
All right, Ron, disappointment for Marshall, but you got to respect the guy who usually an injury takes 6 to 8 weeks to rehab. His recuperative abilities almost had him ready to go inside of a week.
Okay, Adrian Karsten, thanks for the last-minute update. Mike joins me on the telecast. And Coach Gottfried, what does this do to San Diego State when your superstar is not going to be with you?
Well, Ron, number one, it takes away the outside speed that San Diego State has in the running game. So it will put more pressure on David Lowry, the quarterback. Gives Miami a chance to double team Darnay Scott a little bit more on the outside, blitz a little bit more, change up coverages, and really try to defend the pass more than the run.
Gino Torretta is healthy. He'll get to show his wares to the nation. What about him, Mike?
25-1 as a starter. What else can you say? Good long passer, ball passer, and tonight he'll get a chance with a lot of one-on-one coverage to have a big night against the secondary San Diego State.
So you can hear the crowd getting cranked up at Jack Murphy Stadium. After this timeout, we'll be back with the opening kickoff. ESPN's presentation of college football is being brought to you by Thrifty Car Rental. For worldwide reservations, call 1-800-4CARS. By the United States Army Reserve, be all you can be. And by Canon Camera, so advanced, they're simple. Jack Murphy Stadium, San Diego, California, and is typical of not only this time of the year, but any time of the year in this part of the world. Just an absolutely gorgeous evening. Going to be a little bit cooler tonight than usual. Sweater weather out here. The Southern Californians like to think it's cool, but for the rest of the world, as you look at Dennis Erickson, they think that this is just a little bit of heaven. Fourth year at Miami. We all know the story. Just an incredible record, almost 94% winning percentage for him. And for the Aztecs of San Diego State, Al Luganville, his 4th year, 25 victories, 18 losses, 3 ties, 57% his winning percentage. And you see how Al is walking right now. He's not going for anything specific. He will walk like that the entire ballgame. People think that Lou Holtz walks a lot up at Notre Dame. He can't hold a candle to Luganville, can he?
No, he can't. And now Luganville's got a lot on his mind tonight. And the number one thing on his mind is what's across the field that he's got to play against without Marshall Faulk, the Miami defense.
Just about set to kick this one off. Pruitt gets a foot into it, and this is Darnay Scott from the 4. 25 out to the 30. And good field position for the Aztecs as they open it up. So, Mike, let's get right into it as far as what happens to this football team and how they have to redirect their attack. This has to be a burden not only on the kids but the offensive staff as far as making up their mind for plan A and then plan B.
I think they pretty well knew going into this game they weren't going to have Marshall Faulk. And really the pressure's on number 11, David Lowry, and number 6, Darnay Scott.
It's Maxey in motion out of your picture. Quick look-in pass. That goes to Keith Williams. Still on his feet, and that's enough for the San Diego State first down. Now here are the Energizer starting lineup for the Aztecs of San Diego State. Larry Maxey will get the call at running back tonight. This young man has only 9 carries because Faulk is out, and Pittman, his replacement, got a broken leg last week. Darnay Scott, the wide receiver, he's a big play fella. He'll have to be big tonight. And speaking of large, Carlson Liumidi, 345 pounds at that left guard position, but very quick, very good.
Ron, it might have an effect on Miami's defense, too, because this is a team that likes a challenge, and without Marshall Faulk on the field, they could go to sleep a little bit here. I mean, they'll play, but they wanted Marshall Faulk to play, and it may have an effect on them.
You're almost stealing my thoughts, because yesterday at practice and watching the defense and also talking with several of the defensive players, that's exactly what they said, because he got them for 154 yards last year. And Miami is that type of give us a goal project sort of team. Movement at the line of scrimmage, and that's going to cause the Aztecs to lose 5 yards.
Dead ball. False start. Offense. 5-yard penalty. Still first down.
When you don't have Marshall Faulk, that means Miami can put their ears back because they can play more man coverage and blitz because the threat of the run, it's not going because Larry Maxey would do a fine job, but the speed of Marshall Faulk will not be there.
Well, plus the fact that play action doesn't carry nearly the emphasis, does it? Took the look-in pass, this time to Keith Williams on the other side. And let's meet the starters on defense for the Miami Hurricanes. Darren Crine, boy, without saying, he has been truly outstanding on that down 4 this year. The linebackers, about as good as there is in the country. Darren Smith probably doesn't get as much credit as Barrow and Armstead, but he is the steadiest of the group. And in the secondary, a lot of the scouts think that Ryan McNeil will be the first, if not the second, cornerback taken in next spring's draft. Play action. Crine putting the pressure on, and that pass is well underthrown. You can see Crine at 6'4", 250 pounds out of Aurora, Colorado. Was just all over him.
Well, San Diego State's plan is to spread out the Miami defense. Here, a play action pass. Darren Crine plays it just like you'd like. He didn't bite on the fake. Number 91 makes the play. This is Tom Tuberville, the linebacker coach. He makes all the defensive calls. He's involved in the Wake Forest job along with Jim Hoffer of Cornell right now as a possible head coaching candidate.
On third down, Lowry gets it over the middle, incomplete. I guess Maxwell is the man that he wanted, but Maxwell looked as though he was looking downfield to see if he was going to get hit.
Well, that's the pressure that we talked about. Tom Tuberville now, without the running threat of Marshall Faulk, you can turn him loose on David Lowry and try to heat him up and put some pressure on him. There's a lot. I was talking about Wake Forest. There's a lot of people's names mentioned, along with Tommy Tuberville, Larry Marmie at Tennessee, the defensive coordinator, Kevin Steele, linebacker coach at Nebraska, and Jim Hoffer at Cornell.
Let's look at the coverage from our end zone camera, the high end zone camera, give you a good idea if the Hurricanes come after football or if they have return, and they do have return on. Kevin Williams gets by one, will not get by 2 and 3. That's a 37-yard punt, and he got nailed on excellent special teams coverage for the Aztecs. Gino Torretta, third in the nation in total yards, 18 touchdowns, and Mike, only 7 interceptions. 3 of those came in one game, and he has been about as steady as you could ask a performer to be. 25-1 his record at Miami.
Tough to get to him because he throws off of the 3-step drop most of the time, throws the long ball very well, but a lot of teams can't match up with this receiving core. They just have so much speed.
Play, and they get Darrell Spencer out on the wing at the 40, and he will be across the 45-yard line. Now let's meet the starters for the Miami Hurricanes on offense tonight. Gino Torretta, Pinole, California. Yep, he's got over 100 tickets here tonight because of family. Wide receivers, this is just an excellent group. Lamar Thomas, vocal off the field. He's vocal on the field as well with his actions. And up front, Cristobal was injured for 3 games, and they really missed him. He's the glue of that offensive line. This is Donnell Bennett. He'll take it for a couple, just shy of the 50. And now let's check the starters on defense for San Diego State. Jamal Duff, watch for number 48. He's a sophomore out of Tustin. He's a difference maker, though. He can make the big play. The linebackers, they've been kind of banged up in this area, but Mark Roberts has to have a good ball game. He had a concussion last week. They weren't even sure if he was going to be ready tonight. And in this section, secondary, Damon Pierre can play corner, also can play free safety. Was all-conference performer last year. Mark Roberts, the young man we were just talking about, number 37, steps up into the hole. It puts a headgear on Donnell Bennett.
San Diego State defensively likes to crowd the line of scrimmage. They'll play 8 people close to the line of scrimmage. I look for Gino Torretta and Dennis Erickson to go deep early against San Diego State. Try to get them off their back and try to threaten them with the long pass. Barry Lamb, the defensive coordinator, knows he's got a lot of weapons to stop tonight.
Third down, the pass is caught at Horace Copeland. And enough for the first down as Horace plays official as well. Damon Pierre is there with the stop. Now, why does Gino Torretta deserve the Heisman? 10-0 as a starter. You see his career numbers. Total yards per game, that's 4th in the nation, and 18 touchdown passes.
And he's carried this offensive football team. They haven't had a great running game, and their offensive line's been inexperienced. He has been the main force on offense.
Linebackers creeping up, but they stay at home. There's the punt that's going up on top. That's what Mike was talking about. Nice defense, though, as Gary Taylor just forced him out of bounds. So the Heisman numbers, check them out against top 10 teams, what he has done, and then against other teams that were not in the top 10. 48% completion compared to 61.
Those were some pretty good defensive teams, and there's one missing statistic there. They won all the games.
That's right. Very early in this one, no score. Pass incomplete, and that is off the fingertips to Chris Jones, the sophomore out of West Palm Beach. He was there, and the pass was thrown perfectly. Just didn't hold on.
Right on the money to Chris Jones. He just couldn't get a hold of it and bring it in. Gino Torretta shows a good, strong arm. Dennis Erickson's main worry has to be tonight that his team will be flat.
Mike, I thought they were during the warm-ups. And, it's a thing where they got a perfect record. They know that they have a feeling Falk is not going to play. We'll see how long it takes them to get the motors running. Blitz to the outside. They bring the corner. Pass is caught by Copeland at the 27.
Ron, you can't stop that pass. First of all, they started from the shotgun, which gives Gino Torretta a better view and more time to throw. But he threw this ball as Copeland was breaking off the route. Here you see, after they added the shotgun, what he has accomplished. Yardage per game, 249 before, 301 after, 7 touchdowns to 11. Shotgun has definitely helped Gino Torretta.
Gives you a lot more time and also vision. Counter. Larry Jones. At the 15 will be ridden down there and close to another Miami first down. Pierre and Darrell Lewis are there combining to make the stop for San Diego State.
Damon Pierre is an interesting player as we watch him get off the pile. He's the steady leader on defense. He talked the other day about taking angles as a defensive back. Says you take a bad angle against Miami and they're going to make you pay.
He was the free safety last year. All conference, as we mentioned, very tough player. And it's Glendale, Arizona. Diego London, I think, is the man who rocked forward too quickly.
Dead ball. False start. Offense. 5-yard penalty.
This was a horse race. Diego London would have came out of the gate before it opened. Watch him just start, try to come off the block to hit his defensive man. Jamal Duff picks up the 5-yard penalty.
Small probably is saying I only get 5 for that. My head crushed in. Gene Wirtz is the referee tonight. Again, it's the counter with Larry Jones. Inside the 15, that's enough for the first down. Mark Roberts, one of the inside backers, there to make the stop.
This is a defensive team that's been riddled by injuries, Ron, and they have linebackers playing out of position. Barry Lamb, the defensive coordinator, is really coming into this game with a defense that is banged up, and he's going to play 3 different defenses, very limited coverage, just because he just didn't have time to work with his defense to get a lot of things in for Miami.
Plus the fact that I think it took the coaching staff a couple of days to get over the devastation of last week's loss, as it did the players.
A tremendous loss for him.
Short drop this time, and the look-in pass incomplete. Lamar Thomas is who he wanted, but Tracy Mile, number 58, was coming very strong and putting pressure on Gino Torretta. This will be the 11th play of this drive. Ten minutes and 19 seconds left to play in this opening quarter. Torretta 2 of 5. Quick pass. He wanted to hit the middle screen. Kevin Williams is hit immediately by Robert Griffith. And now it's going to be 3rd down and 10. Well, Mike, this was in today's LA Times. I'll let you talk.
Well, there's Al Luganbill. He said they're a good offensive team, but they're not in Fresno State's class offensively. They don't have the running backs that Fresno State has, and I think Miami had that on their bulletin board at the hotel today, and a couple other quotes. And I think that sometimes Tom Tuberville, the linebacker coach, told me, he said, every place we go, we always read things like that, so it really doesn't mean a lot to our players.
I'm surprised that Al said it, though, aren't you? I mean, this is not the Little Sisters of the Poor. Right over the middle, pass is tipped and incomplete, and that will bring up a 4th down.
This is what they needed defensively, Ron. Just a little confidence builder to try to hold them to a field goal attempt. Tried to get Kevin Williams against man coverage. Damon Pierre's going to follow him, number 39. He's in pretty good shape. Had to duck by the umpire, seeing more and more of the umpire getting in the position of the throws over the middle. But Kevin Williams just couldn't hang on to the football.
This is Pruitt to attempt the field goal. He'll put it down at the 22. Kick is on the way. It's a knuckler. And he is well off the mark. And now All of a sudden, the crowd that was a bit reluctant to cheer at first as though they were at a wake, all of a sudden they are awake. Let's take a timeout. No score. ESPN's presentation of college football is being brought to you by Oldsmobile, the power of intelligent engineering, and by Desk Jet Printers from Hewlett-Packard. Desk Jet Printers, make it happen. So, Mike, what happened there is you look at the defense on the far sideline, and it's Lamb talking with his Chargers. That was a 13-play drive, 63 yards, and a miss of a 32-yard field goal.
Came up empty.
Pumped it once, now going to throw the safety valve. And that's one of the things that you have to contend with when you play Miami. If you're going to throw underneath or in the flat, you're going to get tagged by at least one. And they're sending a message that don't come back here again. And you will see players, and players that are still very tough, that will be looking downfield if they hear steps.
Well, you like to tell a receiver early in the game, we'll give you 5 yards for a headache. That's the trade we're going to give you.
Second down and 12 on the loss of a couple. Spin by Maxey, and he's going to be spun down. It's Michael Barrow. And there's Marshall on the far sideline. Came out in his pads, tried to loosen up. He couldn't, so he has put on a sweat top with the hood. As I told you, it's just a little cool here in the desert country tonight.
He's the best running back I've watched this year. I've had a chance to see. I had him in a couple ball games, and I think he's special as a running back. He's a great hands as a receiver out of the backfield, has moves, strength as a running back, great vision, and I think he's the best in America.
Not getting any help from his receivers, and he will come out of bounds, and then he got hit out of bounds. That's what the crowd is wanting. And now here is a shove and a flag. And I have to say, certainly don't condone this type of thing. But Tony Nichols was right in taking up for his quarterback, because his quarterback got tagged out of bounds, and the official didn't throw a flag. And that's what he's sending a message with.
But you can't do it, O'Ron. You can say that he's right, but he should pick up a 15-yard penalty, which is going to hurt his team more.
He's going to. But the thing is, he was waiting for some protection from the official, and when you look at the replay, you'll see he got none.
Here's the end of the play where David Lowry is close to being out of bounds. He steps out of bounds but continues to run. Jesse Armstead felt like he thought he was still maybe in the field of play, so he belts him. And then Tony Nichols, 73, belts him. So against Miami, you can't make those kind of mistakes.
Well, 2 years ago, when they played here, there were 2 fights at the end of the game, very similar to that situation. So the official makes 2 errors. Whistle should have been blown. He's out of bounds, and then he doesn't give him a 15, and he costs San Diego State 15. That's the only point I'm making, and that's the reason Tony came over and did what he did. But I understand. I know exactly what you're going to say.
Mistake. You can't do it. And as a coach, you need to talk to Tony Nichols, and I'm sure that Al Luganbill will. And
dead ball, personal foul, against defense, half the distance, 4th down.
Post-play foul, so it's 4th down, and they'll kick it away. And this should give the Hurricanes some really good field position.
And a very dangerous punt returner to have the ball in great field position in Kevin Williams.
No score with 8 minutes and 42 seconds left in this opening quarter. This fellow right here can put it right back in the end zone as soon as they kick it to him. Both balls kicked. Gets a good one as he tries to kick it away from Williams. Kevin all the way back to the 43. And out of bounds at the 35-yard line. So let's take a break. No score. 8:30 left to play opening quarter. Marshall Faulk pacing the sideline. Mikey just came away from a conversation talking with the gentleman who's replacing him tonight, Larry Maxey. Had a long talk with him on the sideline. Yeah, when you're playing this defense as quick as they are, it may be more than one conversation, though, huh?
The psychiatrist over there on the sideline with you.
Bennett bounces off one tackler, then will take it to the 32, and it's Darrell Lewis who's there to make the stop.
Miami has so many weapons, the tight end and the late play action, Coleman, Bell, the wide receivers on the outside. And if they can establish their run here early against San Diego, they'll give them a headache on defense.
Well, they stopped them on the opening drive, but the Hurricanes right back with really good field position. Here comes the reverse. Kevin Williams cuts it back inside. What a move at the 20 and tackled just inside the 15. Boy.
He knew all along that he was going to make that cut on Gary Taylor, number 23. He sets him up. Would be surprised later on with Kevin Williams coming around that he throws the football. But watch him set up the corner. There's the little stab move. Number 23, Gary Taylor, slides by, and look at the speed and acceleration of Kevin Williams.
18 yards gained on the play. Toretta pitches back to Bennett this time, runs back into the boundary, and he'll still have it down close to the 5-yard line as Roberts and Lewis combine for the stop.
Mario Cristobal, number 72, with a good block. You'll look at the left side of the line. There's the block by the tight end. There's Cristobal's block, number 72, and now it's just try to run to the corner. Donnell Bennett, number 33. They're having success running the ball. They're knocking the defensive line of San Diego State off the ball.
Bennett and Jones, and it's Jones who goes right side. Sean Smith is down at the bottom of that pile. No score if you just joined us. 6:58 left opening quarter.
You look at that play, Ron, it's going to be 3rd and short, or they're going to measure for the first down. But Damon Pieri made the play, and if you're coaching and you're up in the stairs here in the booth, you call right down to the sideline and say, hey, the corner is not covering anybody. He's playing run all the way. So the little play action pass on the goal line would be wide open.
Marshall Faulk, you saw a moment ago, standing on the sidelines with the hood on, will not play tonight. Dennis Erickson, Mike, you have to think, and I know you want to talk about it later on in the ball game for as far as good coaching jobs this year. I think it's the best job that he's done since he's been at Miami.
I think so too. He's maintained the program. He's done a great job. Barry Lamb, the defensive coordinator, said this is the best job he's ever done offensively with this team.
Jones again, straight ahead, check it, Bennett, 33. And Donnell, now let's see what that linesman's going to mark this one. I believe he's going to have it at the 3.5-yard line. Mark Roberts was the first man, along with Glover, to put a hat on him.
Same thing happened. Damon Pieri up inside to stop the run. No one's playing pass defense down here for San Diego State. Is trying to stop the run, crowd the line of scrimmage. Any type of play action pass, and I think they got some wide open receivers.
Jones, touchdown Miami. Boy, Gino had to really hustle to get out there and make that handoff on that wide sweep. You got to be quick.
He was a little late getting out to Larry Jones, but he got the ball to him, and then he followed the block of Carlos Etheridge, number 68, for the touchdown.
with the extra point, and it's good. And let's take a break. As you take one more look at Jones, you see Torretta falling down after making the handoff. Canes on top. Have a look at the offensive line for the Miami Hurricanes as they get a breather on the sideline. It was all set up by the good defense, then the penalty and the kick, and they got the ball at the 35-yard line. It's Curtis Scherer who returned it back to the 30 for San Diego State. I'll be sure to join Chris Berman, Tom Jackson, and Joe Theismann tomorrow morning for television's any award-winning pregame show, NFL Game Day. We'll have all the previews and features, including Jerry Rice, Is He the Greatest Ever? And a look at the surprising Viking defense. Then at 7 o'clock, the crew returns for the most complete NFL wrap-up highlight show on television in NFL primetime. And then tomorrow night, 8 o'clock, from right here at Jack Murphy Stadium, a very improved San Diego Charger football team playing host to the Los Angeles Raiders. All of that tomorrow right here on ESPN. This is Larry Maxey who takes it straight ahead. And you hear the cheer go up because it is a positive yardage gain by a running back. And without Marshall Faulk, there may have been some people who thought that'd be tough to come by this evening.
Well, their key is to spread out Miami defense, not try to keep them honest with the running game. Larry Maxey only weighs 170 pounds, so you're not in a one-back offense going to just give him the ball as a steady diet against this Miami defense, but just enough to keep them honest.
We mentioned during the lineups, 9 carries for 31 yards for him as the Hurricanes have a player down. The player's down is Mark Caesar, senior from Newark.
Ron, when you look at this field, sometimes you can be confused a little bit. The X's on the field, you see the numbers, the pro numbers that they use. Now, the X's are where the college numbers would be. And since they're not on this field, it's a pro field, San Diego State asked that they put an X there so that their players can learn where to align. They're used to aligning on numbers, so they use the X's as the college numbers.
Plus, that's the 9-yard rule as well, Mike, as far as substitutions. Drop by Lowry, and that pass is caught. That's the 45-yard line by Darnay Scott. Talk about gang tackle. I don't see but 4 jerseys that didn't get there to make a hit on him before it was all completed.
Well, that's their philosophy. Let you make the little catch, and then they're going to belch and make you pay for it. But San Diego State is spreading out Miami. Now, this is Ryan McNeil, pretty good corner. Comes back in on Darnay Scott. Now you're going to see, count the jerseys. There's 3 that get a hit. There's 4. Hold him up a little longer. There's 5, 6, 7. So they're going to try to make him feel the hits. Darnay Scott is an excellent receiver. Al Luganville says he runs as fast out of pads as he does in. And that's important because I've had a lot of players that were 4.5s or 4.4s. But when they put on the pads, and when they ran the shorts, they were 4.4. When they put on the pads, they turned into a 5 flat guy all of a sudden.
5:35 left in this opening quarter. It is the Miami Hurricanes, the #1 ranked team in the country, 7-0 over the Aztecs of San Diego State. That's Maxey in motion. Quick looking pass goes to the tight end, and Simonik will have it close to the 45. You can see Leo Meady out there telling his tight end to come on back to the huddle. There have been more than one extra conversation that's gone on already in this football game, and the officials, you know, they're going to have to watch it closely, and I think they will. Maxey, and now whistles.
Dead ball. Offside. Defense. 7 down.
So far, Ron, the Miami defense is not playing with a lot of emotion. They're making a lot of mistakes, and then it has to upset Tom Tuberville and also Sonny Luback, the defensive coordinator, that they just don't seem to have a lot of zip to them. And that's when you start seeing guys jump off sides and line up off sides. That's a clue that, that they're not totally in this thing right now.
You have to think that Dennis and his staff kept harping to Miami. Remember 2 years ago when you came in here ranked #2 in the nation and only got away with a 2-point victory. There's a quick look-in pass. Wow, what a stick on the other end of that by Terrace Harris. But Keith Williams did hold on to the football.
Ron, when you're on the sidelines and you're calling defenses and you say, okay, my defense is a little lackadaisical. Okay, what do I do? How do I get them in the ball game? What you do then is you start bringing people from the outside and you start blitzing a little bit to try to generate a little bit more enthusiasm. Then you get a nice tackle by Terrace Harris and you get them in the game.
Again, another quick pass, that time again for Keith Williams. Mike, he's trying to get that pass away so quickly, he didn't even have a really good grip. Couldn't find the laces on the ball.
Well, what he's looking at, they're spreading out the field. Jesse Armstead, #1, has the third receiver in. Now, you don't have anybody lined up on that receiver head on. David Lowery will just take the snap and throw the ball out. It's called the uncovered receiver rule. But the problem when you uncover receiver rule against Miami, Jesse Armstead runs so fast that all of a sudden it's covered.
I guess BYU has done that as long as anybody and has done it well.
LaBelle Edwards, Norm Chow, their great offensive system.
Here comes the pressure. Lowry has it complete. Inside the 30, the ball is loose. And they're going to say incomplete pass. Darnay Scott didn't hold on. Ryan McNeil had the initial hit on him.
Almost looked like he held on to that long enough, and maybe should have been a fumble.
Yeah, sure did. 4th down, and the crowd is asking the San Diego State staff to go for it. And we have seen no movement for the special teams, and that's exactly what they're going to do.
It's always go for it, coach, we're behind you. If you don't make it, now you're on your own. But if you make it, we're all in this together.
Stand by to cue the boober. And now Lowry wants to call a timeout. So the Aztecs will talk it over. They are down by 7. We'll be back to Jack Murphy Stadium right after this. On the sideline, he's going to go for it on 4th down. By the way, we showed you the quote out of the LA Times. His quote to us on the defense of Miami said, I see a lot of people trying to run their system, but folks don't seem to get around and run it the same way. It's because of athletes. No doubt. Pressure is on. There's the pass. It is caught by Darnay Scott. And Scott will have the 1st down down at the 28-yard line.
Now that was a good matchup right there. Ryan McNeil versus Darnay Scott. Two players that you'll probably see play pro football someday. And Darnay Scott gets the better of this. David Lowery with a full blitz. You see Jesse Armstead, #1. Michael Barrow on the blitz. But you see Darnay Scott. What made this play is Darnay Scott went back to the football. He made the move to go back to the football to make the completion. Ryan McNeil makes the tackle. But Darnay Scott made that play.
McNeil had it covered as well as you can cover it. Inner drop. Barrow, Michael Barrow stepped in front, and I tell you, with his speed, even as a middle linebacker, that may have had touchdown written on it, Mike.
Michael Barrow, the coaches say, is the best student of the game they have. Watch him. Look at David Lowery's eyes for the interception. Just drop the football. They say he watches more videotape than any player on the team. He wants to be a great player, and he wants to do it knowing what the offense is going to do.
6'2", 230 pounds, a senior out of Homestead, Florida. Boy, he not only wants to be a great player, he is a great player. Again with no back. Pressure was on right over the middle. They had the completion. But Darren Smith, you could see 45 just all over him as soon as the ball has gotten to Maxey. And let's get an update from Adrian Karsten. Adrian?
Ron, a lot of the offensive success the Aztecs have had in this drive starts right at the offensive line. It looks to me what they're doing is trying to get a double team on the defensive lineman for Miami in the A gap. That's right over the center or right to the right or left to the guard. Now, what they're doing is double teaming him. If you're a Miami defensive tackle and you feel that, what you do is just drop down to your shoulder and push yourself right through their legs. So far, Aztecs are getting the better of them.
He may be getting those passes off right now, Adrian, but he's taking some hits from this Miami defensive front.
Here comes the blitz and a quick out pass. Well, there was not a route hot enough to get that one away. You see, Lowry just had to get rid of it just as quickly as he could because Patrick was coming, Darren Smith was coming after him.
See, here's what's changed in this game. Without number 28, Marshall Faulk, that means Darren Smith can blitz, Jesse Armstead can blitz, they can play man coverage. Just an entirely different philosophy without this guy on the field.
43-yard attempt. Trackus will attempt this one. You see the numbers on Andy this year, 12 of 18. His longest 45, so well within range. And he's got distance on this one, and he's good. So we'll hold it right here. 2:16 left in this opening quarter. And one more look at the field goal by Trackus. Super slow motion. You can see he had distance to spare on this one. So 7-3 our new score as we come the closing moments of this opening quarter. Marshall Faulk unable to perform tonight because of the knee injury last week on the second play against Fresno State. How he would love to be able to go against this Miami defense, a team that he had 154 yards against just last year. In fact, some of the Miami players were quoted as saying, you know, we knew he was getting some yardage. We didn't have any idea that he had those kind of numbers.
They have a lot of respect for him. And the thing I like about Miami is the fact that they wanted the challenge. They wanted him on the field, and they wanted him healthy tonight. They didn't want to see him over there with the hood on. They wanted him on the field. And that has had an effect, I think, on the Miami defense. They're flat.
Well, you asked the question, why the Heisman? As far as Marshall Faulk is concerned, the leading rusher as far as rushing yards per game, average yards against tough opponents. That includes SC, UCLA, BYU, and Hawaii, and the 15 touchdowns. That's fourth in the nation. Kevin Williams back as one of the deep men. Jonathan Harris, number 3, is the other one. This is a good kickoff right here. Going to go 5 yards deep, and he will not return it. This is the scoring drive, finished off with a 43-yard field goal. 1 run and 9 passes in that 10-play drive. They used up just over 4 minutes. There's another number that could be really big for San Diego State, but when you're only throwing, you're not going to eat a lot of time off the clock. But they need to keep this Miami offense off the field.
I look for Gino Torretta now to start opening it up a little bit. There's number 35 to get the football a little bit. Darrell Spencer, Kevin Williams try to start throwing the football.
Well, he's going to go up on top of the first play. Damon Pierre had the cover, but Gino was well off the mark on that one.
But Gino made a decision based on the coverage as he watched it. But if you watch, number 35 is going to come down the field here wide open. The free safety's favoring the field. Now look at number 35 wide open, but he just decided on the wrong receiver at the pre-snap read. Darrell Spencer, number 35, open.
Gino has now missed his last 4 in a row. He's 2 of 8.
I think he's probably a little nervous tonight, playing in front of 100 fans.
Yeah, 100 members of his family. You know, Mike, we've talked about, you and I were talking as the two teams were coming back on the field for the kickoff, but You mentioned and I mentioned both that we thought that Miami was a little flat in the warm-ups. However, I didn't think Torretta was flat. I thought his motor was going about 100 miles an hour, and it's almost like they need to bring those two together and get it in sync, because he wants to do well for the Heisman and also for his team.
Well, they got out here on Thursday, which is unusual. They were here a couple days early, and sometimes when you're a college team, that affects you a little bit. They lay around the hotel for a couple days, and they're used to just getting in for the game.
That's Copeland. And he'll have the first down, and that brings the crowd back out of the ballgame.
Usually, Ron, you come in on the Friday before a Saturday game. They came in on Thursday, so they had a lot of time to lay around. And we said he has 100 friends here. He may be concerned that he has 100 friends in the stand, or how he's going to pay for those 100 tickets. I don't know, either one.
He's out of Pinole, California. 7-3 our score. Miami leads under 2 minutes. Opening quarter. The pass. Kevin Williams, and that's exactly what he's going to do. Got him at the 25, and Lamar Thomas will walk it in. Touchdown, Hurricane.
They ran that counter early with Kevin Williams. Then they put him on the other side. He's a right-handed thrower. Brought the counter back, and tell you, Kevin Williams made this play because he was able to string it out toward the sidelines, and he didn't show pass till the last possible second. You can't throw a halfback pass any better than that.
68 yards is what it is, and the reaction shot you saw there of number 39, Damon Pierre, knew he bit on it, and there he's got a foot race, but not nearly enough to catch Lamar Thomas. Good with the extra point. And let's take one more look at it.
Keep your eye on number 5 here as he comes around on the reverse. But what he does a nice job of, he doesn't show pass. Look at run. Now he starts to pull up a little bit. Then the pass to Lamar Thomas. It's tough enough to defend those guys when you know it's a pass. When they fake you a little bit, Damon Pierre, he's just lost. He's reading now. He thinks run. He stops just for a second. Long enough for Lamar Thomas, 36, to blow by him and look for the end zone.
Well, Lamar has got those long, graceful strides, and he just put it in another gear as he went by Pierre. 14-3, Miami on top.
The players may be flat, but I'll tell you, the coaches on the sideline just trying to get the enthusiasm back. They're up and down the sidelines. That's Ron Mims, the secondary coach of San Diego State, who has a real chore tonight. That's Damon Pierre there, a fine corner, just got caught on the little fake run. Kevin Williams just did a great job on this one.
Scott out across the 25 to the 26. That drive took only 35 seconds. 4 plays, 80 yards. Well, ESPN's college basketball coverage continues on Tuesday with a big doubleheader. First, it's number 2 ranked Kansas hosting Georgia at 7:30. Then the top-ranked Michigan Wolverines travel to Houston to take on the Owls of Rice University. College hoops heading your way on Tuesday here on ESPN. I'll be down in Houston with Clark Kellogg on Tuesday to get a look at the number 2 ranked Wolverines.
I'll be in Crestline, Ohio at the Eagles, visiting my mom.
Number 1 ranked, as I corrected one more time.
The Eagles are number 1 ranked? No. I'll be watching you. I'll be watching ESPN.
Lowry with the pass, has it complete at the 30-yard line. And Maxwell stays up, and then it's pounded by a couple of more people.
The whole philosophy of the Miami defense when they play against San Diego State, see, that's the same offense that Miami runs, San Diego State runs. It's their philosophy. They'll give them those passes, 6, 7, and that you're eventually going to make a mistake, and we're going to take the ball away from you. But we're not going to give you the big play.
And on the reverse side, 68 yards on that last one by the Miami Hurricanes on the halfback pass from Kevin Williams to Lamar Thomas. And Lowry's going to put it up on top. In and out of the hands of Scher, and he was there at the 24-yard line. And there was Ryan McNeil who was trying to cover him, but he had a step or two on him. And let's get an update from Tim Brando. Timmy.
Marshall Faulk may not be playing, but a guy that made a late run for the Heisman this year, though quietly through the early portion of the year, was Reggie Brooks. Watch him juke into the end zone here against Southern California. It is 7-3 Irish early.
Is it 9 straight Notre Dame has over Southern Cal? I think it's 9 straight.
That Southern Cal team, I wonder how quickly they bounce back from that devastating loss last week to UCLA. Lowry under pressure, trying again. Also, Mark Caesar was right there to grab a hold of him, and he will be sacked.
You have to record not only sacks from this Miami defense, but hits on the quarterback. The defensive front of Miami is really getting penetration on every play. 99 Mark Caesar with the tackle, but some plays they're just cracking David Lowry and not getting the sack, but they're hitting him on every play.
Mike, we still have 13, now 12 seconds left in this opening quarter. One of the things that San Diego State is not doing, as I mentioned, they're not using any time off the clock, which means that defense is going to spend a lot of time on this field tonight if they don't change that. Williams runs away from it, and with that, we have double zeros in the end of the opening quarter. That's a 50-yard punt. So we'll take a break. Miami 14, San Diego State 3. Second quarter about to begin. Miami 14-3. Gino Torrella's club is on top, but individually he's gotten off to a little bit of a slow start. Mike. Jones hit behind the line of scrimmage. That's Jamal Duff who has the answer defensively.
Ron, when you play a one-back team, the player that has the toughest job is right here, number 4, Sam Williford, because he's lined up on a receiver. Sam Williford's a linebacker versus a receiver, and that's the matchup you like to look for if you're the offensive team.
I hate to bring bad news to San Diego State fans, but Larry Maxey, who is the third running back behind Faulk and Pittman, is having his shoulders pads now put back on. He had to wrap his shoulder over across the way. He's hurt. Coretta will be sacked at the 22. And again, it's Jamal Duff.
Sean Smith, number 99, started it all by just getting good penetration. Good movement by the defensive line. Front 4, number 99 comes up the field, forces Gino Torretta to step up into the pocket. Then Jamal Duff, number 48, makes the sack.
So it's third down for the Hurricanes, and the line to make is out at the 39. Pass is caught at the 32, but it's going to be well short of the first down. Darrell Spencer, they got him out there trying to get isolation.
When you get him in long yardage, excuse me, but you get a chance now to play the extra DBs in there, and you play man under coverage, and they stopped the Miami offense on that series. Paul Snyder, his longest kick of the year, 55 yards. This is a real good coverage kick. Ray Peterson is back deep. Little move of his own. Hang on. Peterson all the way back across midfield. Normally, other teams don't have more speed than Miami to do that. He just glued a couple of guys, made the cut back, and that's a return. Kick of 45 and a return of 27. Well, he made that move on Darren Smith, a pretty good football player, too, an outside linebacker who has great speed.
An update from Adrian Karsten.
Injury update, Ron. Minor injury to Larry Maxey, the replacement for Marshall Faulk. Just a bruise to his shoulder. They got him taped tightly. He's back in the game now.
Well, a defensive stop and a 27-yard kick return, and all of a sudden the crowd is back into this one. San Diego State down 14-3. Lowry's pass. Darnay Scott, but they say caught it out of bounds. Curtis Harris, number 6 defensively.
Terrace Harris, number 6, is the safety sitting on the hash mark. Darnay Scott's going to work down the corner, but look at the break Terrace Harris, number 6, makes to put the helmet
That's a good shot.
in the numbers. And the fans here are now booing the official.
And now Luganville is going all the way down the sideline to talk to the official. Whoa.
It's not going to be friendly talk. Idle chit-chat will not be.
San Diego State will call a timeout. So let's take it with him. 12:43 left until halftime. Discontent with Jack Murphy.
Should have asked Lamar yesterday during the workout about his choreographer.
14-3. Hurricanes lead. Blitz to the outside. Darren Smith will knock him down hard. Tim Brando, what do you have for us?
Ron, speaking of choreography, take a look at Curtis Conway. Watch this move. Not once, not twice, 3 times. Down to the 3. Deion Strother would take it in from there. And the Trojans have a 3-point lead. Last date for Traveler here.
I read some quotes by Lou earlier this week, and this guy really worried if Curtis Conway is as good as there is in the country, isn't he?
I don't think there's any doubt Curtis Conway is one of the 5 best football players in the country this year.
Maxey in motion. Pressure again from behind is hit, and it's an incomplete pass. And it's Kevin Patrick who hit him from behind, the junior out of Lake Worth.
Ron, they're just controlling the line of scrimmage, which with a 4-man rush, they're able to get to David Lowry. It's going to make life very difficult for him tonight. Kevin Patrick beats the block of number 67, Chris Finch, to take down David Lowry. The hits just keep adding up on David Lowry, and without the benefit of Marshall Faulk to protect him with the run game, he is like a sitting duck. I know we have the chicken down here tonight, but he's a sitting duck.
Oates ball, his longest kick tonight, 49 yards. As you look at Kevin Williams, the ever dangerous one, junior from Dallas, Texas. There's a flag down. This is really good coverage kick to the near side and comes inside the 15. Now let's go back and check that flag.
You think it's on San Diego State. It is. The referee throws it.
Procedure call against the Aztecs.
Motion by the offense. 5-yard penalty. 4th down.
(14-3) our scores. We have 11:45 left until halftime, with the Hurricanes scoring 2 times in that opening quarter. Dennis Erickson pulling one out of his bag of tricks tonight as they ran a reverse to Kevin Williams, and he did a really nice job of running hard at first, just convincing that secondary was going to run, and then pulled up and threw to a wide open Lamar Thomas. 68 yards on that one. This may be a better one. Wow. Williams loses it, and the lights runs away from it. It's going to go inside the 10 and now down to the 5-yard line. 56 yards.
Another flag, Murphy.
Oh, my. If this is against San Diego State, guys, it wouldn't take a real close-up shot of Al.
Or send the kids out of the room.
Holding against the receiving team.
With Miami backed up here, this is a dangerous position for Gino Torretta, just for Dennis Erickson to let him air a couple passes out here to try to get out of this hole and throw the ball out of here.
Boy, how about Florida State today? 45 points against an excellent Florida team.
They were impressive today watching them. They just get better and better.
They had a 28-point lead at a time. Since they have changed the offense to adapt it more to Charlie Ward's style rather than getting Charlie to adapt to the offense, they have become a devastating offensive football team.
He just gets better and better, Charlie Ward. I look for Dennis Erickson to let Gino Torretta bring it out of here by air.
Hands it off to Bennett on this play, though. That brings it out for a couple. Tracy Mowell defensively. And Ole Miss, congratulations to Billy Brewer and the Ole Miss Rebels. That's an 8-3 year. They're going to the Liberty Bowl, a game that you'll see here on ESPN to take on the Air Force Academy.
Larry Beckett, the new offensive coordinator. Joe Lee Dunn, the defensive coordinator there with a good win for Mississippi as Barry Lamb looks on. Defensive coordinator, San Diego State.
And the Hurricanes, as you can see with the player down, will get his name in just a moment. Looks like it is Bennett. Donnell Bennett, the sophomore out of Fort Lauderdale. And I think Ole Miss played that game today with the 3 starting offensive linemen unable to go against an excellent Mississippi State defense. So that's, again, a tribute to the Rebels and their victory.
Same thing about Mississippi State. They were hurt, lost Sleepy Robinson during the year. Still are going to a bowl game, the Peach Bowl versus North Carolina. It'll be Mack Brown, the head coach of North Carolina, against Jackie Sherrill and Watson Brown.
Adrian Karsten, what update do you have for us, please?
Ron, Coach just mentioned they may have to pass out of here. Well, the onus is really on the offensive line of Miami now, which has kind of been a weak link this season. So far in this game, I've heard them made incorrect calls at the line. It's an over call where they have to zone block. Now, Torretta, if he's going to pass out of here, these linemen have to make the right call, or he's going to find himself on his back.
Hope he doesn't pass out, but I hope he throws the ball out of here.
Lamar Thomas is who he wanted. Incomplete.
Tried to throw the ball. Tracy Mowell, number 58, tipped that football. And Gino Torretta off to a slow start tonight. Not having the kind of night here at the start of the game. There's the tip. Not a good job of blocking. When you have a short passing and 3-step block, you don't want to get underneath that defensive man to get his hands down.
Gino also not only is standing on the end zone line, he's got the crowd right there behind him, and they're all San Diego State fans. Over the middle, he got it complete. That's Spencer. And enough for the first down, and there's no better way to take a crowd out of a situation than what he did right there. Pick up a crucial first down. Sutton on the tackle.
Ball right on the money, but Darrell Spencer made a nice job of adjusting that football and catching it and bringing it in. Almost dropped it, but on the second ring there was able to bring it back in for the first down. Strength of this team, the wide receivers in their defense. And, of course, their quarterback, Gino Torretta.
Larry Jones is the only setback this time.
Big cushion at the top to Lamar Thomas.
Short drop, quick out pass, and that's who they go to. At the 20-yard line, Gary Taylor will make the tackle on Thomas.
Sure, that's what Gino Torretta looked out and said, hey, Gary Taylor's really off of Lamar Thomas. I'm going to throw the football out there. I'm going to change the play. And it looks like a good defensive play. Watch Gary Taylor, 23. Lamar Thomas, 5 steps. There's the out. Now the tackle. But the problem is for San Diego State, that's a 5-yard pickup on first down.
14-3, Miami leads. Going under 10 minutes to play till halftime. Brings it back into traffic, and he's going to be tackled at the 25. And when he tried to pick up the extra ground, he may have lost what appeared to have been a first down. That's Steen who came over to make the stop on him. Yeah, and he did. They're going to put him down at the 25, and they need one more for the first.
Kevin Williams is just so dangerous. He had a sprained ankle early in the year, was hurt. It looks to me like he's as quick as ever right now. When he catches that football, he is dangerous.
Yeah, when we saw him against West Virginia, he was not 100%.
No, then tonight he is 100%.
Jones. That'll be enough to move the chains as Mark Roberts for the inside linebacking position, but 37 makes the hit.
The offensive line of Miami, Adrian was just talking about what they have to do. They nicknamed themselves the weak side warriors, the weak side of the line. Carlos Etheridge and Diego London and Terrell Green. I ran into them at the hotel the other day. They said, make sure you talk about us. I said, well, make sure you do something early. And that's the weak side, the left side. They flip-flop and pretty good off. They've developed into a pretty good offensive line.
Etheridge was a tight end. They converted it. This to the 236. But here comes the reverse to Williams. And Kevin will take it to the 33-yard line. So what about the difference in this ball game as far as rushing yardage? We talk about how much it hurt San Diego State to lose Marshall Faulk. Well, look at this. Minus 15 San Diego State. Miami 79 yards on the ground. Turns the corner, gets by one tackler, and he'll take it to the 37. Very close to the first down again. Rolando Stallings makes the tackle. Well, he's a big one, 6'7", 280. Junior from Ansonia, Connecticut.
Long way from home.
He is.
Miami football team, it's won 50 of 53 games. They may be the next NFL franchise.
Chains had to come from all the way across the field. .758 left in his first half. It's going to be just a little bit short. Good job by that guy's club, his defensive side of the football. But boy, the point remains, as far as number of plays, Miami's been on offense an awful lot in this first half tonight. San Diego State's defense has to be getting a little weary.
Good point, and they've been able to contain Gino Torretta so far tonight. The running game's hurt him. The reverse pass by Kevin Williams hurt him for 7, but they've been able to contain number 13, Gino Torretta, to this point.
Larry Jones will pick up the first down as he'll take it close to the 39-yard line. Well, coming up at halftime, as this is the last games of the regular season. That's what they'll be talking about. Hurst run for the Heisman as Georgia wins over Georgia Tech. The Seminoles roll. And an update on the Arkansas coaching situation. All of that and more coming up at halftime.
Kind of think Danny Ford's going to end up there.
Do you?
Yeah, I still do.
Well, they take the reverse. Torretta throws it. That's a nice job of running and throwing against the grain. Squared his shoulders, got it complete to Horace Copeland. I do know that Kynes was passed on today.
They've also talked to Tom Rossley, I believe, at SMU.
Yeah. But you think it...
I think he's still in the picture. I think Danny Ford is still in the picture at Arkansas. There's mention of Johnny Majors at Arkansas. There's a lot of people. I'm sure at halftime they'll bring us up to date.
Here are the numbers on Torretta so far tonight. 8 of 16, 77 yards.
Slow start, but he can bust out at any moment.
He's pulling himself out of it, though, yeah. But as I said earlier, I think he was ready to play. I think his teammates were a little lethargic in getting started.
He's going to try to go downtown right here. Quick out.
Got it complete to Copeland. Tackled at the 39. Damon Pierre there to make the stop.
Does a good job of reading the coverage on that play. Checked off, moved his running back up to be a blocker toward the line of scrimmage. Just threw the quick out route to Horace Copeland, 88 versus Damon Pierre again. Been a nice drive for Miami. Very consistent.
Larry Jones is the running back this time for the Hurricanes. Pitch comes to him as they come back into the boundary. That is a nice job by Pierre. Damon came up, and the senior out of Glendale, Arizona, just put a headgear on his ankles and flipped him down.
Well, he read the play right away that it was a run, and he just makes a move to come up to the line of scrimmage. You see him in the backfield making the stop on Larry Jones. Robert Griffith also there, but Damon Pierre made the play.
And Damon did the smart thing. He's 50 pounds lighter at 185. Larry Jones is 235, because he did hit him low to take his feet out the line rather than take the collision.
Important statistic there. Miami 7 out of 9 on third downs. They control third down. Let's see if they can make it 8.
Pass is caught by Kevin Williams. Breaks off the tackle, and here he goes. Inside the 15-yard line. A missed tackle cost San Diego State an additional 20 yards.
Well, the miss was by Darrell Lewis, number 9. Now, Ron, you have to remember that he doesn't practice on Tuesdays and Wednesdays because he's hurt. And sometimes when you don't practice late in the season, you develop some bad habits. He just did not wrap up Kevin Williams, number 5. And now he turns on the Jets.
And again, it's Pierre.
Tough when you don't practice, but when you're injured and you can't practice, you play, but sometimes it's difficult and you make some mistakes.
Larry Jones got to be pushed out of bounds at the 10. That's Steen, a junior from Inglewood, who will make the defensive play.
Something's always impressed me about Miami is the pure pressure they have. Is Barry Lamb just trying to figure a way, but their team, their alumni, the players that have played here, the expectation level is so high, but when they practice, and they practice 1 versus 1, they're very intense, maybe more intensity in the practice area than any other team in the country. Dennis Erickson with a nice, solid coaching job again this year.
Jones on the counter, right at the middle, the 5. Breaks off the tackle, and there's the signal. Touchdown, Miami. Dragging Darrell Lewis with him.
Remember when we had Miami against West Virginia, they got in that big lead and kind of went to sleep. So, you know, that's what San Diego State has to hope for with their big gun out of the game, Marshall Faulk.
Good for the extra point attempt, and he's good. Miami 21. And the Aztecs of San Diego State 3. And look at the power of Jones as he takes it into the end zone.
Jim, give me a Bud Light.
We're all out.
When it comes to clean, fresh taste that won't fill you up and never let you down, Bud Light delivers.
You're about to see a side of Ranger you never expected. Now, all that famous Ford Ranger muscle comes in a body no one can resist. Introducing the 93 Ford Ranger.
Ford Trust, the best never rest.
Ranger is how tough looks today.
Sometimes being a Heil dealer is no fun. Ask Henry. He'll tell you that a Heil furnace is so dependable, once he installs one, he may never see it again. That's why Henry always takes time to visit his old friends, even if all he does is say hello. Heil, It's dependable year after year after year.
Tuesday night doubleheader. Georgia meets Kansas, and Michigan faces Rice. Live. ESPN.
Gino Torretta gets a breather on the bench as his ball club now up on top 21-3. Talk about a workman-like drive. We'll show you the numbers on that drive in just a moment. They started that thing back at the 3-yard line. Good kick. Come down to Darnay Scott.
See the counter play. They've had so much success running. Larry Jones just running through another tackle, stretching the ball out, breaking the plane for the 10-yard touchdown.
Look at this, Mike. 15 plays, 8 runs, 7 passes.
San Diego State is so intent, as you see Ron Mims going over the formation, but they're so intent on stopping the pass that the run is there for Miami.
See Darrell Lewis, number 9. And I'm sure that defense would love to see the San Diego State offense stay out there for a bit. Try the running play, and Larry Maxey has one, maybe two. Michael Barrow and Aaron Crine combining of the stop.
There's some great defensive teams in the country this year. You look at Miami, and I think there's an argument for them being the best. Alabama, I think, is as good as I've seen on defense. Texas A&M is good on defense. I mean, and they're the teams that are undefeated. Total yards, Miami 284, San Diego State 32.
I think you got to put Florida State in there as well.
It's another good one.
Quick pass to the 32-yard line. That's Maxwell on the receiving end of that one. Redshirt freshman from Fresno. Jesse Armstead will wrap him up. And now San Diego State still needs the 35-yard line to keep this drive alive, or they'll have to give it right back.
They just don't have the threat of the run without Marshall Faulk. Larry Maxey, a good back, but 170 pounds. You're not able to stick him inside enough. And they just have to rely on throwing the football to win this game or to even stay in it.
Hit and nothing doing. That's Darren Crine who hit him first. You could see 91 come across, and then Darren Smith will wrap him up. And just like that, 1, 2, 3, San Diego State's going to have to kick right back to him.
They jumped to a 5-man front on this play. Darren Smith reads the tailback counter, stays at home, did not blow out of there too quick. And look at the jerseys on Larry Maxey.
Kevin Williams back at the 30. Waits for this kick from Oatsball. Tries to kick it away from him. Williams on the run. Will let it hit on the ground and will retrieve it at the 19. .49 yards in the kick. 2 on the return. We'll be right back. Murphy Stadium in San Diego, California. Ron Franklin with Mike Gottfried and Adrian Karsten. And we have 3:08 left until halftime as you look at Gino Torretta. His football team on top 21-3. The pass, nice job defensively. Copeland, just as he was catching it, Gary Taylor stuck that front arm in and knocked it away.
Well, the way Miami has had success running the football, you would think that San Diego State would now have to crowd the line of scrimmage a little bit more to open up the passing game for Gino Torretta.
Mal goes out of the lineup as they get the extra defensive back in the ball game. Sutton comes in as the nickelback. Torretta has it completed at the 17. Coleman Bell is tight end. First out of bounds at the 42. Mark Roberts got out there to make the cover on him, but not before he had 21 yards.
Well, they had a mismatch there with Coleman Bell. They put all three receivers to the wide side of the field. Now Coleman Bell's on the backside versus a linebacker, number 37, Mark Roberts. Mark Roberts has him man-to-man, and Coleman Bell just puts the little shake move on and gets open toward the sideline.
That pass tipped at the line of scrimmage. Jonathan Harris is the man that he wanted.
San Diego State with 2-6-7 defensive tackles, so they're going to have their hands up. As you see the block being made by the center, there's the tip. Causes the deflection and the incompletion for Gino Torretta.
I think it might have been Glover. He got a hand up, number 92. Here's a quick pass to Kevin Williams. Mark Roberts, 37, comes up to make the hit on him. Got to be a couple shy of the first down as the clock runs with 2:40 until halftime.
That's their uncovered receiver rule. See Damon, that's number 37, Mark Roberts, the linebacker, making the calls.
They didn't know if he was going to be able to play. Had a concussion in last week's ball game, so they kept him out and kept a close watch on him. Sophomore from Bakersfield, California.
3rd and 2, and they're going to stay in the shotgun, it looks like.
Coleman Bell drops the football, never was able to hold on to it as Roberts again had the cover on him.
I think they're trying to open up the game a little bit more for Gino Torretta to try to get him on target here a little bit more. Mark Roberts again, coverage versus Coleman Bell, linebacker, tight end. You like that kind of combination if you're Miami.
Ray Peterson, as Paul Snyder will kick to him. Peterson's the one who had that burst a while ago and took it back over midfield. Peterson from the 8. Waits to count and takes it up to the 15-yard line. C.J. Richardson is the man who will make the stop at 44 yards and a kick for 7 on return. Coming up at halftime, be sure and stay with us. The Delta Faucet Report. The Hurst run for the Heisman. Also, the Seminoles rolled today 45 points against a good Florida club. And Coach Kynes has found out that he is not in the running at Arkansas. The guys will have an update on what is progressing in Fayetteville as far as the search for a new head coach there. Gino Torretta.
The San Diego defense done a nice job on him throwing the football. They haven't been able to stop the running game, but they've been able to kind of slow Gino Torretta down tonight.
Kip Jeffries, number 3, is in the ballgame now with tailback. A running back in defense. Lowry hits the pass. That tip could be intercepted. Nobody home. Jesse Armstead is the man who got a hand on it. You could see number 1 going up. Tipped it in the air, the senior from Dallas.
He is, as Al Luganville said, he's the best walk-away linebacker in the country. Number 1, Jesse Armstead.
Explain that, Mike, a walk-away.
Well, usually when you play a one-back set, you see how he's able to go against a receiver, Keith Williams, number 81, turn around, make the deflection. He can play the run as a linebacker, but he can also go out on the 3rd receiver, who is usually a speed guy, and match right up with him. They do not need to bring in a nickelback. He can play nickelback, linebacker, he does it all.
Well, Maxey is back in the ball game, and you see a good second effort by him as he'll take it to the 20, and it's Darren Smith who finished him off.
Tom Tuberville, the linebacker coach, said about Darren Smith, he says everything the pros looking for: size, speed, effort, maybe the best we've ever had. You got Darren Smith and Michael Barrow, and they're both up for awards.
You know, also, what a lot of people might say is even more important as far as Darren is concerned, he is one of the Foundation Scholarship Award winners for this year, which means he's gotten it done in the classroom as well, and will go to the National Foundation dinner week after next and receive that scholarship.
Ron, next year, I keep saying, you know, everybody keeps saying, well, when's Miami going to be down? Next year, maybe. And when I say that, maybe, it's doubtful as you look at Tom Tuberville. But next year, they play at Colorado, at Boston College, and at Florida State. Now, they lose their quarterback, Gino Torretta. they lose their wide receivers. Now, that's where they're going to have to pick it back up. They'll be good defensively. They're going to lose some key players there. But the quarterback spot and the wide receiver spot is where they'll be hurt the most. But everybody keeps waiting for them to sink a little bit, and they're like the New York Yankees of the old. They just hang right in there, the UCLA basketball teams.
Yep, they really have been that way. Here's the situation if you just joined us. 1:40 left until halftime. It's 21-3 Miami, and the Hurricanes just called a timeout to stop the clock because it is a 3rd down and about 5.5. As you look at the rushing yards tonight, -11 for San Diego State, 95 for Miami. And we had a shot just a moment ago of Marshall Faulk in his street clothes standing over on the sideline.
I think they try to get the ball to Darnay Scott here, number 6.
Gets it to Scott, and he will have the first down at the 26-yard line. McNeil puts the stopper on him.
Well, they're trying to get those little short routes, and they split Darnay Scott way out to the right side and then take the 2 inside receivers down the field and bring Darnay Scott underneath, and he's open. He's against Ryan McNeil in zone coverage, and they can have that pass on 3rd down. Miami will trade it. Trade him for the tackle and let him start all over and see if they can get 10 more yards.
Well, Mike, one of the reasons that people continue to wait for him to be down a bit, some folks think they'll have 12 people drafted off this team this year. Quick pass, and he has it complete. Close to the 35-yard line. At that time, they got Maxey out of the backfield. But he couldn't get out of bounds to stop the clock. When you lose 12 guys that are taken to the draft, you're not just losing bodies, you're losing quality.
Oh, I'll tell you what, they've had some players. When you look at all the NFL rosters, and when I coached against them in '86, you felt like, well, in '88, we will face a little different team. They were better in '88. It's like Al Luginbill said the other day. He said, I can't wait for Jesse Armstead to leave this team. He's a great linebacker, but I see Rohan Marley, number 2. He's as good, maybe better. And he said, he comes on the tape. He said, so it just seems like they always have somebody coming that's better.
I'm sure we'll see Rohan in the second half, and that'll give us even more to talk about as you look at him on the sideline. What a story. 5'8", 200 pounds, a freshman.
And his father is, Ron, I know you're a big reggae music guy.
Reggae? Yes. Bob Marley is his father. Why are you guys laughing? I knew how to say it, too. Reggae. You said it like you thought it was Italian food.
Some of his songs, Stir It Up. Adrian knows all the music down there. Buffalo Soldier. He's got a lot of his albums.
Oh, wow.
Matter of fact, maybe Adrian will show us the dance.
.107 left until halftime, and hopefully there's not nearly enough time left for that. 21-3, Miami on top. We're just about at halftime. Incomplete ball. For some reason, Keith Williams didn't turn around. That ball was not only in his neighborhood, it looked as though it was pretty well thrown.
Well, when you play against 2 deep, you always say there's an area 18 to 25 yards down the middle of the field that you'd like to get your tight ends the ball or wide receiver. And I used to try to convince our tight ends that once they caught that ball that they would get hit right away and just hold on. But I mean, they take some blows in that area from that. And I'm not sure that he wanted to get his head around for that one because Terrace Harris, number 6, and Casey Greer, 29, were just sitting waiting.
3rd down. Lowry sings this one out, and there's Darnay Scott again. Quickly with no huddle back to the line of scrimmage is San Diego State. 4 catches for Darnay Scott now. Good for 34 yards.
David Lowry needs a score before half to get his ball club back in this thing and for confidence.
Tosses it down to stop the clock. Aztecs have no timeouts left. If you're wondering why he did that with still 53 ticks left on the clock, and that's the reason.
The offensive line, the pressure on the San Diego State offensive line to protect now for David Lowry with 53 seconds. That line's led by Carson Liamidi, number 71.
yards, 12 of 25 for Lowry in this first half. Brings it right over the middle, has his tight end Ziegler this time. And again, hurry up offense, no huddle. Barrow put the stopper on him. Clock is down to 40, now 39. Back across the middle, incomplete. And a good thing he threw it short. There was Warren Sapp and Darren Crine who were coming after quarterback David Lowry.
Fourth down, looks like they're going to punt. May have hit something there with the no huddle that they might talk about at halftime. Had a little success there with the no huddle, and maybe you think a little bit about trying to keep substitutions off from Miami and try to generate some offense with that.
Coach Ball has done a really good job in this first half as you look at his impressive numbers. Don't want to end the half with a punt return for a kickoff, and he's been trying to keep it away from Williams. Let's see if he does again. And he's going to kick it out of bounds and not give him an opportunity. Let's see. They run up the sideline, and he'll spot this one out at the 27-yard line. It's a 28-yard kick, but there is no return.
When you can't run the football, you're in a lot of trouble, and San Diego State cannot run the football tonight without Marshall Faulk.
So 22 seconds left until halftime. There's Marshall right there. He came out, and it is getting a little chillier here. Marshall with Jack Murphy. Look at those numbers. Minus 11 rushing. 95 yards for Miami.
You give Gino Torretta a couple shots and throw the ball on streak routes here and see what happens.
Gino runs up into the pocket, zings it long. That's Copeland at the 47-yard line. And they're going to say he's down. I thought he was, that his knee was on the turf. And now Miami calls the timeout. 15 seconds left.
Well, that'll cause them to make the timeout call because they still move the sticks and the clock would stop, but they want to talk it over here. 15 seconds left to go before half.
One timeout remaining for Miami.
Again, of 19 yards on the pass play.
21-3. Hurricanes on top, and Mike, in the second half, probably, as you said, the no huddle for San Diego State. They did have a little success with it there. Wouldn't be surprised to see them come back with that in the third quarter and see if they might be able to tune it up again.
Well, they have to try something different because they just haven't had any success at all. They still have to try to run the ball against this Miami defense. Now, Dennis Erickson, just watched him as he talked to Gino Torretta. He reminded Gino that he has one timeout left.
Copeland, by the way, with that last reception, 6 catches for 75 yards. Halftime, we'll talk about the bowl picture, also the Arkansas coaching situation. Florida State and their big win over Florida today.
Well, Houston beating Rice, putting a lot of points on the board today.
61 points they scored, yeah. Fred Goldsmith and his guys did a heck of a job.
Great coaching job.
Yeah. Pass is caught by Williams, and he gets out of bounds. He saw he could pick up no more ground, and he's out at the 23. Peary defensively.
Double coverage on Kevin Williams. You had Darrell Lewis 9 on him, Damon Peary 39, but he made the adjustment to the ball and they didn't. Gino Torretta sees the double coverage. He tries to look off to start the play, throws to Kevin Williams, but watch Kevin Williams adjust to the football. The defensive players did not. There's Damon Peary, and there's Darrell Lewis coming over late, number 9.
Mike, he caught that thing right off Peary's headgear.
Good adjustment. Eyes back to the football.
For the end zone. It is caught for the touchdown by Lamar Thomas.
Same thing, Ron. He took it off his helmet again, and Damon Peary was in good coverage, but Lamar Thomas with just an excellent reach for the football. They're so used to the long pass that they adjust to the ball so well. This group of receivers.
Coleman Bell with the first reception to Kevin Williams, and then Powell just like that. They get it to Lamar Thomas, and in 22 seconds. In fact, that drive didn't even take. They took it over with 22 seconds, didn't they?
Very impressive drive. Gino Torretta with some good passes into coverage. Barry Lamb, you can't have any better coverage than you have right here. Lamar Thomas 36 versus Damon Pierre 39. Adjustment for the football again, catching the ball, knows where the cone is, the pylon, and in the end zone for the touchdown. Just a takeoff route. Now look at Damon Pierre. He's in great position here. Lamar Thomas's head comes back. Damon Pierre's head has to come back a little sooner to find the ball.
Look at the reaction by Gino, and he's saying, now we're getting it going. Let me tell you something, Mike. They took that over with 22 seconds left. They didn't even need 22. 18 seconds is all they used. 3 catches. The first one by Bell, the second one by Kevin Williams, and then Lamar Thomas. 3 catches for 72 yards, and they're on top now 28-3.
There's something, as you look at Damon Pierre, there's something to be said about speed, and speed. Because Miami has it on the outside. If you're going to beat Miami, you have to have defensive backs that can line up with 4 receivers that can run. You have to be able to match up and people that can run and play pass coverage. Miami's offsides on the kickoff.
Kirkide on the return to the kickoff. Simonek, I beg your pardon. And with that, the end of the first half. Now the flag down. Miami was offsides on the kickoff.
Illegal procedure against the kicking team. Penalties declined. That's a half.
So it's halftime, and as they head to the locker room, Gino Torretta, his numbers, 214 yards in the first half. The Delta Faucet report is next after we pause for this timeout. Miami leading over San Diego State. And Mike Gottfried, I guess the most obvious thing as you look at what happened in that first 30 minutes of play is Miami started off the game just a little bit flat, and still they toyed with San Diego State at 28-3.
I think it's the Marshall factor. Marshall Faulk not playing in this game. Just San Diego State does not have a running game. Now you look at the 2 replays we're going to show you here. Kevin Williams really makes this play. See how long he strings it out to make you think it's a run. Now the perfect pass to Lamar Thomas. The first pass other than a quarterback for a touchdown has been thrown at Miami since Dennis Erickson arrived. Now the person who's supposed to throw the touchdown passes, Gino Torretta, off of the shotgun, looks off. Now to the corner just before halftime to Lamar Thomas, who will outreach Damon Pierre for the touchdown.
So we are just about set to start action. As you look at the stats in the first half, that is -10. 8 carries for -10 for San Diego State. And look at the highlighted passing yardage, 282 yards for the Miami Hurricanes in that first half. It's Jonathan Harris on the second half kickoff return, and he's off. Finally hit inside the 35-yard line. And it's Leonard Jones who saved the touchdown return. 63 yards. And let's go down to Adrian Karsten. Adrian?
Well, Ron, in the Aztec locker room at halftime, Coach Luganville said that's just the type of thing the Aztecs cannot afford. They've been in position to make the plays. Now they got to make them. On offense, they're going to try and get some isolation. Believe it or not, they may run some option right at Armstead. They think they can isolate him, cut it up inside. Also, look for the passes up short, 8 to 10 yards underneath the coverage.
Boy, great field position for the Hurricanes to take it over here in the second half. If you look at Stephen McGuire, first time we've seen him with a carry, and he'll take it down close to the 21. Darrell Lewis is there to put the stopper on him.
Well, Adrian's talking about the strategy of San Diego State isolations, which is a run up inside, the counter play, which maybe hold the linebackers a little bit, but I don't know if I'd challenge Jesse Armstead. You know, we'll find out here in the second half. He's such a tough player to involve him as the guy you're going to go after.
McGuire, he's running hard, but he got sent back in the other direction as Tracy Mao put a headgear on him and pushed him back. So we are 1 minute into the second half, and already the Hurricanes are just shy of the 20-yard line. Third down, and they need about a yard. Scored 14 in the first quarter and 14 in the second quarter.
Ron, here's the match. Darrell Spencer, 35, versus Sam Williford, number 4.
The running play, and McGuire breaks it down to the 14-yard line as Lewis again comes up to make the defensive stop. But the Canes with a 1st and 10 deep.
We talk about that matchup. San Diego State has not stopped the Miami running game. They've had they can run the football at any time they want, which means now you have to keep regular personnel on the field, and that's where the mismatch will be. Sam Williford, number 4, versus number 35 with the inside receiver. Now it's Kevin Williams now versus Sam Williford.
Fred with a short drop and a quick out pass. Copeland's who he wanted. Copeland couldn't get turned around quickly enough.
Threw that too quick. He likes to throw the routes on the break, and he's very good at it.
Some of the crowd here at San Diego went home at halftime, Mike. There are a lot of empty seats that were not there in the first 30 minutes. Over the middle, tip, incomplete. Kevin Williams is who he wanted.
It's tough when you lose your star player, and it just affects your whole football team. San Diego State has been hurt. They've lost a lot of players as Dennis Erickson sends in the play with Jonathan Harris, number 3. San Diego State needs something good to happen. They need an interception. They need a fumble recovery, some big play on defense to ignite them.
9 of 12, 75% on third down conversions. Pass is caught at the 5-yard line by Lamar Thomas. Well, that's close. See what they're going to give him a spot here. One more pass for the receiving record for Lamar, and that's got to be short. Not enough for the first down, so it's 4th down at just a couple of feet. And Miami will go with the 2 tight end alignment, and Bennett will come into the backfield.
Got Stephen McGuire in. They got Donnell Bennett, so they got a lead blocker if they want to use it.
That's what they do, Mike. Touchdown to Miami. Bennett. Williford is a man that he wiped out with the block. Here's extra point. He's got it. So with 12 minutes and 30 seconds left in this third quarter, our new score is Miami 35 and San Diego State 3. So let's take a break. We'll be right back to Jack Murphy Stadium after this.
For years, the Toyota truck has stood alone. No longer. Introducing the Toyota T100. Built from the same tough stuff as our compact, only bigger, with more room for 3 inside, and an 8-foot bed, with 4 feet between the wheel wells. Now, when it comes to Toyota trucks, the difference is even bigger.
Ooh, darling, I need you so. Never gonna let you go.
Capture the ones you love without missing out on the fun yourself with a Sony Handycam, America's most popular camcorder.
Citizen, 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 elegant citizen, citizen, elegance. Oh, his citizen, citizen, one citizen with lots of citizen, elegant, elegant, arbitrary, elegant citizen. We've got elegance.
If atomic particles had been square instead of round, it probably wouldn't have happened. If it had been a wet cell instead of a dry cell, it's doubtful. And if the positive terminal had been negative, who knows? There might never have been a battery called Energizer or the Energizer Bunny. But luckily, everything happened just right.
ESPN's presentation of college football is being brought to you by Toyota and their full line of quality cars and trucks. Toyota, I love what you do for me. And by Energizer batteries. Nothing outlasts the Energizer. Welcome back to Jack Murphy Stadium. And just what San Diego State did not want to have happen, as Adrian pointed out, the big play on the kick return to get things started here in the third quarter. Darnay Scott. He will cross the 20, brings it out to the 22-yard line.
That loss last week to Fresno State is still hanging on this football team, too, as you look at the San Diego State bench. It was a loss that knocked them out of a bowl game. Five WAC teams will go to a bowl. Hawaii, Brigham Young, Utah, Fresno State, and the Air Force. So the league will have good representation over the holidays.
Yes, they will. Caesar penetrates, hits him, and knocks him down behind the line of scrimmage. That's going to be another negative yardage on a run.
Miami defensive front just played into the boundary and just beat the blocks of the offensive linemen. Mark Caesar, number 99, just beat the block. He was in the backfield to make the tackle.
Yeah, he was. Well, when you get that kind of push off the ball, it's really difficult.
Comes the blitz.
Maxey in motion with the no back. That's who he was going to go to, was Maxey. But you talk about having to run a hot route. Jesse Armstead was all over him, as were several other Miami Hurricanes. And Adrian Karsten, an update from you, please.
Well, Ron and Coach, consider the opportunity the Aztecs may have here. The one play that has worked against the Miami defense all season long. Arizona, West Virginia running that old Washington Redskin counter tray play. I have not seen it once from the Aztecs tonight. It could actually beat Miami because they are so fast to the outside. That could freeze them, send the ball back up inside.
It's a play that teams have had success against Miami, but it looks like Miami's just getting so much penetration tonight and so far behind that they just can't go to it.
Well, he's got Darnay Scott open this time. Breaks him over the middle. And Scott will be across midfield to the 46. Greer and Armstead combine on the stop. 35 yards.
Darnay Scott, number 6, is the big play performer for San Diego State. See David Lowry kind of skate to the outside, buy some time. Darnay Scott kind of sits down in that two-deep coverage. But he's the type of player that with his speed can make some big things happen for San Diego State if they can get the ball in his hands.
Short drop, and just as the pass is delivered, that's exactly what Mike was talking about off the top of the telecast. Miami will invite you to throw underneath coverage and then pay for it. so that you're sending a message. Don't come back here again.
Well, that was David Lowery's mistake there because he kind of led Curtis Shear, number 88, into the tackle. If you're going to throw that hitch, throw it right on the hip. He kind of led him right. See how he leads him right into the tackle. Dexter Siegler, number 34, just waiting for him. Hand him an aspirin because you just gave him a headache.
35-3 our score with 11:03 left to play, third quarter. Giving a short drop to throw. Kip Jeffries, and he will be close to the first down as Michael Barrow got the stop.
I'm not sure if Larry Maxey's been banged up or not. Now he's back on the field, but Kip Jeffries, his backup, who has spent most of the season as a special teams player, made that catch as the backup tailback tonight with both Falk and Pittman out of the game. So now you're to your third and fourth team tailbacks.
Complete and right at the line of scrimmage. Keith Williams just gets annihilated by McNeil. Let's see if he got enough for the first down. They're going to spot him. They're going to have to bring the chains. They'll have to come all the way across the field. It's very, very close. And Rohan Marley has just come into the ball game for the Miami Hurricanes. As they bring the chains across, one of the stories on Marley is that, as we mentioned to you in the West Virginia game, that the other players, if you got a stand-up situation where you're pushing somebody back, they want to keep their eyes open because Marley will come up and it's like he bruises some of his fellow players. But we also found out from him that he has like a buzzing sound, a humming sound. You can hear him coming when he's going to hit somebody.
Well, he stings. If he's a bee, he's stinging too because he will hit you. He said he had a stress fracture before the Iowa game, and the doctor said you're going to have to miss this game. We're going to put a cast. He said, you're not putting a cast on my leg. I'm playing. He played the Iowa game, then they put a cast on him, and then he's back in the action.
Here are the numbers on Lowry, by the way. 16 of 32, 122 yards.
Looks like a fighter out there. He's moving his feet around. He wants to get a punch in.
Fourth down and short. And Miami just gave it to him right there with the offside. That was Michael Barrow who stepped across. You can see Liam Eady bouncing around there pointing and saying, we got the first down.
Well, Michael Barrow doesn't make many mistakes, let me tell you.
No. By the way, I mentioned a story on Liam Eady. Is
offside, defense, 5-yard penalty, first down.
Liam Eady, they wouldn't let him do spring ball. They put him on the diet. He was at over 400 pounds, and it got him down in the vicinity of 330. But the story that his teammates love to tell most of all is before he went on the diet, they went into McDonald's and he ordered $32 worth of food. And then he told his friends that he didn't have enough money to pay for all of it and borrowed some.
We had a shopping cart with him.
Pass for Darnay Scott goes incomplete, and now here's a late flag. And McNeil is going to be called, I believe, for pass interference.
If you ask Ryan McNeil, who's probably one of the best corners in the country tonight, who's some of the best receivers he's faced, he will probably tell you Darnay Scott's one of them, number 6.
Pass interference by the defense, spot foul, first down.
Playing a lot of zone coverage tonight. David Lowery under pressure. Ryan McNeil over the back of Darnay Scott. That's the pass interference call.
But to finish that story on Liam Eady, he is now the svelte Carlson Liam Eady at size 60. And as you saw the picture the last time we were out here against Air Force, we named him to our all-hair team. Going to put it out to the end zone. Going for Scott. Oh, couldn't hold on. Oh, he was there. The pass was thrown about as close as you can get it.
He had Ryan McNeil beat again in the corner. Just couldn't hold on to the football. David Lowery with a pretty good throw. Darnay Scott works short. Now they try to go for the touchdown. Look at the pass. Right over the shoulder. Right where you want it.
My.
Just couldn't hold on. Had him beat.
Yeah, that's one that Darnay should have caught.
I wonder what Carson Leomides' favorite sandwich is at McDonald's.
Pass is complete at the 15-yard line. Maxwell inside the 5. It's Barrow holding on.
Just saw Michael Barrow make a mistake just a couple of seconds ago when he jumped offside, but here you see how he continues to play. Chasing down the pass receiver and making the tackle at about the 2-yard line. Never gives up on a play.
Nothing pleases a coaching staff anymore than to see a ball club that is down badly in a blowout and to see them have the resolve to come back and put something together. Right, Mike?
You're always looking for the positives in your team, and San Diego State just keeps fighting and trying to get in the end zone here to make it a little bit closer ball game.
Short drop, fade right, and Scott touchdown.
Darnay Scott's wearing Ryan McNeil out. Give David Lowry, number 11, some credit for that throw. Right over the shoulder of Darnay Scott.
Extra point attempt by Tracus is up and good. One more look. Darnay Scott gathers it in. New score, 35-10.
Reincarnation. The belief you can come back is just about anything. Why do some guys have all the luck? Try a beer that drinks like a light with real draft taste. Bud Dry. Because while luck may run out,
Happy birthday, Grandma. For me.
true refreshment won't.
Young, rich. Let me see. And smart. Just look at the car.
Well, he didn't get where he is by throwing his money away.
At $78.48, the Toyota Tercel has a standard driver's side airbag, and it's the lowest priced two-door sedan you can buy.
Here comes his broker.
Maybe it's his agent.
Excuse me. Is that your car? Sure is. Well, it's blocking my driveway.
I think he's complimenting him on his unpretentiousness.
He's so cool. Get your little behind in there.
All over the world, there's a ritual that takes place right before bedtime.
And don't forget to wash behind your ears.
And for over 35 years, one faucet has helped more kids get away with it.
And you two better be clean.
Or not. Delta, the way water is brought to life.
Tuesday night doubleheader. Georgia meets Kansas, and Michigan faces Rice. Live. ESPN.
Darnay Scott, you can see him breathing very hard, but for good reason. Boy, they have sent him up, and sent him up the field. And McNeil makes you work so hard. As you look at the scoring drive, 9 plays, 78 yards, 1 run, and 8 passes. And Darnay Scott, the 2-yard reception, as you look at McNeil.
One of the best corners in the country, Ryan McNeil. The 2 best I've seen all year is Antonio Langham of Alabama and Carlton Gray over at UCLA.
Yeah, definitely. Scott, by the way, 6 catches, 71 yards, and the 1 touchdown. They're going to pooch this one. Jonathan Harris.
He was good up by number 3, Kip Jeffries.
.223 yards for Toretta tonight with 1 touchdown, 16 of 29. He's recovered nicely after a slow start. As much so by his team as by him. Pass batted down at the line of scrimmage. We asked Dennis Erickson to give us his opinion on why Gino Torretta should win the Heisman Trophy.
The thing that Gino has done, though, is he's made the big plays and help win those games. And it takes a very special athlete to make big plays at the end of games like he did against Florida State, like he did against Penn State, and like he did against Syracuse. So, I mean, that type of a player, a guy that can play in the big games and make the big plays, is the guy that should win the Heisman Trophy.
He started tonight 4 of 12, and then he went 12 of 18 as he gets it complete to Kevin Williams, and hang on, gets to the outside, and anytime he does that, that spells trouble. Robert Griffith will push him out.
Got a good block from Lamar Thomas, but when Kevin Williams gets the ball in his hands, big things happen. Gino Torretta just can pick him on those inside routes, and just so dangerous. Number 36, Lamar Thomas, with that block on number 24, Eric Sutton. There's another block on the outside by Horace Copeland. Receivers have to block downfield.
Counter Trey McGuire going to be hit and wrapped up behind the line of scrimmage. It's a loss of a couple. Stallings defensively. You see him getting off the stack. And Mike, that's an infectious thing. It's also a team thing that when you block for somebody downfield and help them out either to get a touchdown or a big play, then they come back and do the same for you.
Well, they do, and it's such, when you have such speed like they have on the outside, just one block will spring them for a touchdown. They just capable of the big play all the time.
See Jonathan Harris just being dwarfed in that huddle. Number 3, 5'9", 165, a sophomore from Houston, Texas. Pass, another one batted down at the line of scrimmage, and this is by Glover, Leroy Glover. And there's a marker down in the secondary.
There is no flag. No flag. Ball was tipped.
I think that's what they were going to call was pass interference, but because the ball was tipped, they told the other official who was looking downfield, he saw the pass interference, but with the ball tipped, that's all's off. 92, Leroy Glover with his hand on the football. They're excited on defense. Barry Lamb talked to him at halftime. They're playing with more excitement on defense.
Incomplete as the ball had to be thrown before Thomas could get his cut made, and you could see the reason why, because of the pressure. Steen, also Stallings, and Leroy Glover all coming after the quarterback.
We've seen this before, the West Virginia game, where Miami kind of just became very lethargic on the field and let West Virginia, well, of course they didn't let them. West Virginia got themselves back in that ball game. San Diego State may be able to do the same thing.
Off the side of his foot, Peterson trying to catch up with it so he can get a return and has to run away. It's going to cost him an extra 10 yards. 43 yards in the kick. And now for tonight's Toyota Leadership Award winners, they are for Miami linebacker Darren Smith. He carries a 3.1 average in business management and is a member of the Metro-Dade Join a Team, Not a Gang program. And for San Diego State, running back Marshall Faulk. He's got a 3.1 in public administration, and he speaks to local schools about the importance of education. Toyota proud to donate $1,000 to each school's General Scholarship Fund on behalf of these athletes.
Ron, you talk about what one player can do for a college football team. 7 TV appearances for San Diego State this year. Directly the result of Marshall Faulk.
And you get a look at Marshall right there. He didn't plan on doing this one in street clothes, but that's what happened. The knee is not ready. Lowry zings it, intercepted, and that will go for a touchdown for Sigler.
He wanted to play a little basketball on his way in. I don't think David Lowry may have been able to see Siegler on this play because he threw it right to him.
25 yards on the return as Siegler makes the pickoff. First turnover of the ball game, and it is extremely costly.
Dexter Siegler on coverage and zone coverage. He's just playing the little curl route, steps in front. Now watch him drop the football. Whoop, and bounces right back to him. Things are going right, they go right. Here's a little dribble here. He's looking back, ball bounces up to him, and he's in the end zone for the touchdown. David Lowry knows when the ball left his hand what the result was going to be.
So Siegler, boy, when things go right, they go right. And that ball came out of his hands, came right back up to him. 8:09 left to play, third quarter. 42-10. Top-ranked Miami.
Miami tries to take that last step toward the national championship for their bowl game.
And actually, there are a lot of people waiting to see what happens next Saturday in the SEC championship game down in Birmingham.
I'll tell you what's going to happen.
Okay, go ahead. Are you going to wait till later in the game? Or?
I thought maybe I'd wait till next week.
Oh, okay.
No, Alabama is going to win that football game, and they're going to match up.
Darnay Scott. Well, be sure to join Chris Berman, Tom Jackson, and Joe Theismann tomorrow morning for television's Emmy Award-winning pregame show, NFL Game Day. And they'll have all the previews and features, including Jerry Rice. Is he the greatest ever? Also, we'll look at the surprising Minnesota Viking defense. Then at 7 o'clock, the crew returns for the most complete NFL wrap-up highlight show on television, NFL Primetime. And in the game tomorrow night, the L.A. Raiders right here at Jack Murphy Stadium against the San Diego Chargers. I beg your pardon. Easy for me to say, right? Great matchup. Chargers really have been charged up as of late, playing very well under Bobby Ross and his crew. All of that tomorrow right here on ESPN. Maxey with the carry, and he's going to be hit and knocked down for a loss. And let's go back to Tim Brando for this update.
With Marshall Faulk sitting on the bench the last game and a half, fellas, Reggie Brooks may outpoint him with the Heisman vote. I mean, he has been a late comer this year. This is his third touchdown run of the night, 44 yards the jaunt. Irish, 24-16.
Sorry, but I don't even entertain the suggestion. You can't penalize the guy because he's got an injured knee. Brooks has come on well, but Falk, I think he stands on what he has done as the nation's leading rusher coming into this one.
Just think of the players that left for the pros early that would be in the Heisman race this year.
In fact, we'll show that list here in just a bit. Really, it might surprise you with the number of people who could have been in the race or would have been in the race.
I think that's what happens. You get a void because the players who you figure would be the leading candidates in the Heisman, all of a sudden they're gone, and you have to start all over for the race to build your reputation.
McNeil on the stop there, and it's 3rd down and 2.
Think of players that do a lot of things. That guy playing down the road, Conway for Southern Cal, he does it all for that team.
Pass intercepted again. This time it's McNeil, and he will score.
Ryan McNeil, he evens up the touchdowns. Oh, I'll tell you, there's a late hit. It looks
now
like
they got to fight. Liam Meady
and it's going
in
to be
a shoving match, and now here come players from both sides.
Under control quick. Ron, I didn't see it all, but I watched David Lowry get hit real late. Luganville's out there trying to make sure it keeps them off the field, trying to keep them separated. Control now, Ron, but it looked like Mark Caesar hit David Lowry late, and that caused the flare-up. Let's see if we can find it here. Kevin Patrick on the rush. There's the hit. I don't think that's late at all.
Liam Meady then pushes down Caesar. Caesar will come back, and they talk. Liam Meady goes. Then he gives a shove. Does Caesar to Liam Meady's back, and then that's when Liam Meady went after him, and that's when all broke loose.
I don't think the hit was late on David Lowry. Now it looks like it doesn't appear that it's late. Let's see, the ball's away, close, but that didn't cause the fight.
And with all this happening, the touchdown was scored on the interception by McNeil. There is a flag down, and we'll wait and get that sorted out.
Ryan McNeil on the interception just stepped in front of Darnay Scott for the touchdown.
And then a little styling into the end zone. So
flag should have came up right there. Run in the end zone, give the ball to the official. That's what you're supposed to do.
Carlson Liamidi, shot of him there is okay. Let's sort it out.
We have a dead ball, personal foul against the offensive team. We have a dead ball, personal foul against the defensive team, and an ejection.
You know, maybe Adrian can find out who's ejected.
Okay, so we'll get that from Adrian Karsten on who has been ejected. You know what, Mike? One of the things that I would like to see happen in college football, and I don't think it would be a bad thing for the pros, but I'll certainly leave that alone. But for the colleges, the offsetting unsportsmanlike like this doesn't do any good to anybody. Send them both out for the remainder of that series and for the next one as well. They can't come back. They can't participate. And if that's 2 or 4 or 6 or however many.
Or eject them right away.
Yeah.
I mean, you've got to keep control of the game, and if it takes an ejection, you throw them out of the game. San Diego State had a fight last week in the Fresno State ball game. Comes the captain. He's asking for the captain, Michael Barrow, to explain to him now to take the to make a decision here.
We have dead ball, personal foul against the NC on the kickoff. We have a dead ball foul, personal foul against the defensive team. That also will be assessed on the kickoff. They will offset. So we have a try at this point.
Adrian, now can you give us some final results on this thing?
The final results, as far as I am told directly by the line judge, is that dead ball foul being assessed to number 13, DeAndre Maxwell, the wide receiver for San Diego State. He has been ejected, the only ejection I am told at this point.
So the extra point attempt with 7:06 left to play in the third quarter as Pruitt knocks it through, and let's take a break. I think we all need it. 7:06 left to play in this third quarter. 49-10.
Go team. Hi, folks. Bob Dancer with Buster Brown, the Wonder Dog, and Little Scotty, and we made a special volume purchase on 93 Colts and Caravans, all air conditioned, and all on sale at a special low price. How much is a 93 Colt, bud?
$118 a month.
How much is this 93 Caravan?
$218 a month.
Tell them again.
$118 a month. $118 a month. $218 a month. $218 a month.
Now, where do you get them, Mr. Rapper?
Bob Dance Dodge, where everybody rides.
All right, Scotty.
Discover Time and Sound, Central Florida's leading authorized Sony dealer. Catch all the action with the popular Sony Handycam and easy-to-use video cassette recorders and players. Time and Sound has a wide selection of Sony's exciting and rugged Walkman AM/FM stereo cassette players, Watchman televisions, and popular Discman CD players. Plus, you'll always be in touch with Sony's complete line of reliable cordless phones and answering machines. For the best in Sony, visit Time and Sound. Discover the difference in quality, in savings, and in service.
Hi, I'm Chris Berman. Join us for NFL Game Day this Sunday at noon Eastern Time. Jerry Rice, about to set a new NFL mark. Is he the greatest receiver ever? The Vikings defense scoring with an alarming rate. And characters in the game. Are there any left, or are they long gone? Join us.
Tonight on SportsCenter, Hearst shifts into overdrive as the Heisman race heats up. The Knicks with their own version of the running of the Bulls. And the Shack takes a cavalier attitude at home. It's all tonight.
49-10 the score. 7:06 left to play in the third, and I have a feeling that Dennis is a little more concerned about other things than that 49-10 score, because what just happened doesn't do anything for anybody's image, and I'm sure he wishes that had never happened.
Well, I think both coaches, that's the last thing you want. Both Al Luginbill and Dennis Erickson talk to their team about that, and it's a spur-of-the-moment thing. It shouldn't happen, and something I'm sure he'll talk again to him about. So Al Luginbill.
Here's Pruitt's kickoff. This will come down to Darnay Scott, this time from the 8. Adrian Karsten, an update from you, please.
Well, Ron, whoever is to blame for this incident, I can tell you right now, a very volatile situation. This game could explode if both coaches on both sides, and I can tell you specifically as far as Miami's concerned, these guys are hot, and they have not cooled down, and they want to go. They're talking about it amongst themselves. The referees are going to have to do a good job to keep the tempers down as well.
New quarterback, Ken Gutierrez. And you see his numbers, 66 yards, 5 of 10 for him. 6'1", 215, a sophomore out of Oxnard, California. Here's a running play straight ahead close to the 30-yard line as Maxey runs into Warren Sapp.
Warren Sapp's the player that they say is the clone of Jerome Brown. Said he has more athletic ability, dunk a basketball. He was recruited as a tight end, and scout team last year used to return punts at 280 pounds.
6'3", 280, Apopka, Florida. Play action, and has it complete. This time it is Simitic.
the tight end, and that will be good for the San Diego State first down. Casey Greer made the tackle on him.
Brett Ingles, the offensive coordinator, with a misdirection play that have really affected Miami. They just completely were flowing away from the football, and Semnick got open on the backside.
Straight drop. Ball is batted at the line of scrimmage, and Kevin Patrick, number 86, got a hand up and knocked it down.
Had it look like the middle screen to Ray Peterson set up, and reminds me of the story that Tom Tuberville told me about Michael Barrow in the Florida State game. Said that there was a timeout called, and he looked over the sidelines, and Bobby Bowden was talking to one of the receivers, and Michael Barrow felt like that they were going to run the middle screen, and that's when he got that great hit on the middle screen, because he was looking at the sideline and just had a feeling that was the play Florida State was going to run.
Pass again, batted down at the line of scrimmage. Warren Sapp and also Kevin Patrick is there, and I'm surprised Kevin could get his arm up. You know, he's had problem with his shoulder popping out, and he has played through the whole thing. By the way, we've just been handed a note on Kevin Lowry. One of the reasons that he is on the bench, he has a contusion to his left leg and is not expected to be back in the ball game tonight. So the starting quarterback, Kevin Lowry, the junior from Mission Viejo, out of action. David Lowry out of action because of the contusion to his leg. Gutierrez steps up, delivers the ball, and has it complete. And this is Williams across midfield and down to the 46. Siegler makes the stop on him, and you see the officials running between the players, and I think they're saying stop the talking. Terrace Harris that time was trying to jog with Darnay Scott.
Terrace Harris out of Memphis, Tennessee, Whitehaven High School. Both their safeties out of Memphis, Tennessee. Casey Greer out of Hamilton High School. See Terrace Harris. Going to have to put technicals in here, just like they do in basketball.
Yeah,
5-yard penalty.
Hey, boy, you're reading.
Technical on the safety.
You're reading my mind. That's another rule that just gives the officials something else they have to deal with. But they've done it in basketball. If you jaw in basketball, buddy, it's a T quickly. That's complete to Maxey. Backtracks a little bit. And Tim Brando, let's get an update from you.
Ron and Mike, I promise not to talk any trash here. This is Rob Johnson, the USC quarterback, and this is Estes Creighton, his first touchdown reception of the year of 18 yards. They didn't go for 2. It's too early for that. 24-23, Notre Dame.
Tim doesn't want to be known as that trash-talking Tim, huh?
The Shreveport trash talker.
Nobody does it better.
49-10 our score with just under 5 minutes to play in this third quarter. Michael Barrow, as a marker comes down, leading the defensive attack.
There's a lull in the action here. There's a couple pressing issues now. Number one, should we have a college football playoff? I think we should.
Offside, defense, 5-yard penalty, still second down.
We'll talk a little bit about that in the Heisman Trophy. I think we've got to talk a little bit about that, but college football playoff, Texas A&M, I just keep thinking of them, 12-0. They've done all you can ask them to do. Florida State on a high. Notre Dame probably is playing as well if they can win tonight as they close the season. But without a playoff, you're only talking about 2 teams going to be involved.
That's right, under the current system. This is Jeffries, pounds his way close to the 35-yard line. Just talk about where you get your playoff system from, Mike, taking the top 16 teams.
If we were a Division I AA, this is how it would go as we started today. Miami would be playing Mississippi State, probably at the Citrus Bowl. Syracuse and Georgia at the Fiesta Bowl. Notre Dame, Nebraska, Texas A&M, NC State. That would be the top round of the brackets of the top 16 teams. Here's the bottom. Alabama would be playing Ohio State, Michigan against Colorado, Florida against Washington, and Florida State versus Stanford. And if you started the season the last week of August, no open dates, and you play straight through and you play this tournament, It'd be just like Division I AA, which I think's been successful. And the team at the end would not be out Notre Dame right now or Texas A&M. I just think it's a real injustice for a team like Texas A&M to go 12-0 and not have a chance for the national title.
Yep, you're right. Gutierrez got him open over the middle, and Peterson will score. .36 yards.
Casey Greer really underplayed this pass by Tim Gutierrez to Ray Peterson and made the mistake and yet beat. Little spark by the new quarterback.
You know, he showed some good mobility, stepping up, showed the patience and the poise, and Peterson right over the middle. Freshman redshirt out of New Orleans. Trackus with the extra point, and he's good, and let's take another look at it.
Ray Peterson, number 17, is going to work right down the middle of the field. Beats Jesse Armstead, gets inside of him. Now Casey Greer takes a step up inside, number 29, and just takes the wrong angle. Another angle. Jesse Armstead lets him get inside. Number 17. Now the missed tackle, miss angle by Casey Greer. Ray Peterson in the end zone.
So our new score, 49-17, as you look at the Hurricane special team lining up. Mike, back to what you were talking about with the playoffs for just a second. And the numbers we put down, those were the Associated Press rankings as we started play today. Just a hypothetical situation. The only thing that would concern me is the politics to get in that top 16. Now, I know we have avoided that in basketball, but that's 64 team. And it's a whole lot different than 16.
But you'd have to do it the same way. The rating system, the same way they do the basketball. Now, everybody's not pleased with the basketball pairings at the end of the year. Teams are upset about their seed. They're upset that if Purdue wins 19 games and doesn't get in, or West Virginia a couple years ago in basketball. So you're not going to please everybody. But 16 teams certainly would get close to the best teams in the country, Ron, and I think that's what we need to do.
Kevin Williams from the 20.
They take it at the 21-yard line by number 5, Kevin Williams. Stop by number 89.
Williams hit very close to the sideline there, and for a moment we were holding our breath as words started being exchanged again, and thank goodness no outbreak. That guy right there has maintained a cool head throughout the evening, and exactly what you would expect. Gino Torretta, look at the numbers on him. 17 of 33, 244 yards. Torretta going long on this one. Copeland gathers it in at the 50-yard line. The horse being pushed back. Gary Taylor puts the stopper on him.
Looks like the San Diego State defensive linemen are beginning to tire as far as pass rushman. You're in the shotgun as much as Miami has been tonight. You just wear out the rush sometimes.
Mike, every play in this game, though, for the most part, has been a clock stopper. At the rate we're going right now, we're going to have a 4-hour-plus football game. Which, while we're speaking of rule changes, let's don't change the world tonight, but let's, partially do so. That's something else got to happen. College football is not meant to go 4 hours. Got to change a clock system to make it continue to roll. Maybe the 45-second roll at the end of the play with the pros. Copeland, he's there, and he's got it. It's a 5 and down to the 2. Thierry is on him defensively, but it's first and goal Canes, and Copeland is shaken up. You can see Lamar Thomas waving frantically to the trainers to get out and take a look at him.
Horace Copeland uses his 6'3" frame here to be able to reach up to get this football and jump up with that 6'3" frame, bring the football in and down to the 3-yard line.
Like he got a leg twisted up under him or something. Well, he's up. They're helping him. 47 yards on the pass completion. That leg did get wrapped up with the Pierre as he went down, but probably the best thing that Coach Erickson can see is the fact that although they're helping him, he's still coming off on his own. Well, big night for him. 8 receptions, 139 yards.
We're on the same formation now, the one-back team. Now they can line up with 2 backs. McGuire now is a deep back with Bennett being the lead blocker for him.
McGuire tries to get to the corner and is going to be knocked out short of the goal line at the 1. Sean Smith is the man who hit him.
San Diego State was able to string that ball out. Sean Smith make them run wide. Just no place for him to cut the football up. This is a defense that's wore down tonight.
Yeah, and they still got another quarter to play, plus 234.
They're out of gas.
Jones and McGuire in the backfield this time. And it's McGuire, right side, touchdown Hurricane.
.229 left to go, Ron, and to expect that Dennis Erickson's going to get his substitutes in because he's starting to pick up some bumps and bruises here with his starters.
Yeah, and it's Mario Cristobal who's down. And we mentioned that, you know, they really missed him when he injured a knee and then came back. In fact, he came back against Florida State. And they need his leadership plus his ability. Senior from Miami, went to Columbus High School there. 2 plays, 2 players shaken up, or 3 plays and 2 players shaken up. So I think you're right. Probably we're going to start seeing some new faces in the lineup, offensively and defensively.
Well, the good news is you're going to see some substitutes. The bad news of your San Diego State is they're pretty good.
Be playing for a lot of other people is what you're saying. 55-17 the score right now, and Pruitt will attempt the extra point. Now Cristobal is running on his own. Extra point is good, and let's go down to Adrian Karsten. He's got a special family with him.
Special family indeed. Now, I really don't expect an objective answer here, Mrs. Toretta, but why do you think Gino should win the Heisman?
Why do I think he should win the Heisman? Because isn't he the best quarterback that's playing college football this year?
When the nurse came to the delivery room and would have said, Mrs. Toretta, you have a son or a daughter, Mrs. Toretta, you have a Heisman Trophy winner,
I would have said, no way. I would never have thought that he'd be a Heisman Trophy winner, except, you know, he just came along with the other boys, and they could have been a Heisman Trophy winner, too.
One of the other boys is brother Jeff. You played behind Vinny Testaverde. You've been part of the Heisman Trophy program there at Miami. What's great about your brother? Where does he fall in that whole line of Miami quarterbacks?
Well, I think week in and week out, Gino's been under intense scrutiny from the time he was a redshirt freshman, and he's responding week in and week out. And me and my brothers, my mom, we're awful proud of him, and I think he can compare to any of the Miami quarterbacks.
Comparing to 101 people up in Section 43, Ron, which has become Section Toretta tonight.
I know his granny's here as well. We saw his grandmother is in a wheelchair, and as we were leaving the stadium yesterday afternoon. So 101 tickets and 101 strong, the Toretta family here tonight. I'm sure very proud.
If I could find that doctor who could tell there was a Heisman Trophy winner at birth, I'd still be coaching.
And he'll bring it back to the 25-yard line. In fact, when you check out the starters and their records at Miami, Toretta 25-1. We did that one loss. His first was against Florida State down at Tallahassee. And in Walsh, Erickson with 2 losses, Testaverde with 3. And of course, Jim Kelly. Hard to figure how Jim could lose 7, as good a quarterback as he is, and pretty darn good supporting cast with him. But that was beginning to be the time when Miami was really going to roll.
Remember the man that started it, Howard Snellenberger, sitting in Louisville, Kentucky tonight. He started all this.
In fact, here are the the passing records held by Torretta going into tonight's ball game. 7,380 yards and third all-time in touchdowns with 46.
Some career.
And I think you can tell right there that it's over as far as the regular season. He's taken off the flak jacket and the pads, and he's going to walk the sidelines and enjoy with 1:48 and counting left in the third quarter.
He's thinking, barring an upset, the next defense he sees will be Alabama's.
Oh my goodness, what a hit. Ball is loose on the ground, and Miami has recovered. Klein made the hit, and Mark Caesar will make the recovery.
Darren Klein, just on the snap of the ball, came inside. Mark Caesar also in on the play. The drop back. Nothing's open. Darren Klein, 91 with a hit. Ball's rolling on the ground. Mark Caesar, 99, alertly recovers the fumble.
Gutierrez is still on the ground. He was shaken up on the play.
A tough night for Al Luganville. Started off with Marshall Faulk being ruled out of the ball game. He's had both quarterbacks hurt. Came into the game with a thin squad, banged up.
Well, he mentioned to us yesterday in the meeting we had with him that he said if we get certain people hurt on defense where we're already so thin, he said it could just be a perilously long evening. And now you see they have brought the stretcher out here.
Question will be, Ron, who plays quarterback now?
Well,
this is a tough injury here to Tim Gutierrez.
I saw him go down, and I guess maybe we ought to wait for a second to make sure that it is who it is. Okay, we're being told that from the truck. 52,108 on hand for this one tonight as we started.
Never saw Darren Klein from the backside. He just couldn't pick him up.
Well, there's Lowry. We gave you the report in case you missed it on him. He's back out on the field, but he's on crutches. They had taken him to the locker room for x-rays, and his injury was a contusion to his right leg. There are his numbers, 19 of 38, 152.
Here's the play as Tim Gutierrez back to pass. Klein comes off the block. I don't think that is Tim Gutierrez. Is it hurt? I think maybe somebody else.
72 possibly rather than 12, and we apologize.
It looks like a lineman down. Let's take another look here at the right side of your screen. Number 72.
Oh, you see the headgears come together there, Mike.
67 together. Chris Finch. Curtis Rodehofer, number 72.
You can see the two there. I deeply apologize to the Gutierrez family. Hopefully we just wait and see who it is down there.
Yards rushing, Ron. San Diego State minus 10 still.
We still have 1:32 left to play in this third quarter. 56-17. Miami leads. We've had a long stoppage because of a fight that broke out on an interception return for a touchdown. And now the injury, and the thing that just always terrifies you is when you see them bring the hard board out there and then something to strap them on so that they're immobilized that it doesn't look good.
Well, when you're connected with a team, whether you're a player or whether you're a coach, I mean, it breaks your heart to see anybody hurt. You know how hard they've worked. You can see the players, how attentive they are. Shane.
Marshall Faulk on the sideline. That was the initial injury tonight. That we're going to take a break. We'll come back to Jack Murphy Stadium, but right now let's pause for this. We're back at Jack Murphy Stadium with the 1:32 left to play in the third period, and we do have it confirmed that it is Chris Rodehofer, a junior of Lodi, California, who has been injured, an offensive lineman, number 72. Being loaded on the cart and will be taken to the aid station, which is located right here in Jack Murphy Stadium. And we'll get something on him just as soon as we can. You can see the number of people attending to him and the care that they're using and trying not to move him any more than they have to.
Being a pro facility, I would think they'd have pretty good facilities here, Ron.
Well, that's good. His hands are moving.
Yep.
Yeah. And the trainer, the young lady there, at least a couple of those people are smiling. So hopefully that is maybe that's good news. Anyway, we'll get something. You see Adrian running toward the cart right there. We'll get something for you just as soon as we can. Frank Costa is in at quarterback for the Miami Hurricanes. Sophomore from Philadelphia. 6'4", 214. And the pass is complete to Lamar Thomas.
Pass complete.
Little quick pass by Frank Costa out to Lamar Thomas.
That's the record. That's the record. That's the reason they're congratulating Lamar Thomas. 144 career receptions. That's a Miami record. He has passed Michael Irvin, and now comes to the sideline. And I guess that may be the end for him tonight. They may take him out. Close to the 5-yard line. Jamal Duff is a man who makes the play defensively. Well, Mike, not that San Diego State needed anything else to take the wind out of their sails, so to speak, but they're everything running back. Marshall Faulk can't go tonight. Then they lose their starting quarterback, and now an offensive lineman hurt seriously. The fight. It's been, everything has been a downer lately, and it's you can tell they look very listless on the field. It's kind of
a season with a lot of promise ended up with as a disappointment. Not a disappointment as far as effort or what they wanted to achieve, but disappointing in the record because they felt like they were going to have a better year, but the injuries really hurt them.
Stephen McGuire, the senior from Brooklyn, will take it in for the touchdown.
And I think that probably on the sidelines now, the thing that's most important to them is to getting word back on Curtis Rodehofer, their teammate.
Schwartz attempting the extra points, and Michael kicks it up, and he's good.
Extra point attempt is good.
Good blocking by the Miami offensive line. Still the first-team offensive line in there. Stephen McGuire. There's a block by 72, Mario Cristobal. There's McGuire up inside for the touchdown. Cristobal with a good block.
Adrian Karsten, do you have an injury update for us?
I do, and potentially good news for number 72, Chris Rodehofer, the offensive lineman for San Diego State, accompanying him all the way up to the safety area up underneath the stadium here, Ron. No neurological damage that they could determine here on the field. They're taking x-rays now. He is immobile only by towels and tape that they put around his ankle, his shoulders, and his hands. But he is able to move all limbs at this point. So they're going to take x-rays. It'll be about 10 minutes before I have any more information.
Okay, that is indeed good news. Thanks, Adrian. Good hustle.
I think all pro stadiums have to have x-ray equipment back there, so that's good. I mean, we'll get the great news back here real quick. And you see a very dejected sideline.
We still got 18 seconds to play in the third quarter, and our new score is 63-17.
This for you. For you, Mom and Dad, Aaron and Eric. This is for you, Gainesville.
Well, Schwartz is going to kick it off from the 35-yard line. This return, unless somebody goes out of bounds, could bring it into the third quarter, mercifully. As Miami has scored 35 points in the third period. Ball is fumbled on the return, scrambled and recovered by San Diego State at the 25-yard line. And Shearer is the man who made the running stab and then recovery.
Curtis Shearer, 88, dropping the kickoff, able to recover it before the Miami defenders are down. Still can't get over the fact San Diego State minus 10 yards rushing.
Straight ahead with this running play, and that's the longest gainer that they've had. Rohan Marley is there to make the stop. And so with that, the end of the third quarter. Let's take a timeout. Our score, Top Break Miami 63 and San Diego State 17. Well, you're seeing the numbers correctly. 80 points have been scored in the ball game, and for San Diego State fans, they only have 17 of them. By the way, the 35 points in the quarter for Miami ties a record, 35 against Cincinnati in 1989. And the play there goes across the 40-yard line. That'll be good for the first down. Total yards at the end of the third quarter. Miami 514, San Diego State 212.
Seeing a lot of next year's defense if you're opponent of Miami's next year. This will be a lot of the players that will be starting next year.
Well, Malcolm Pearson, sophomore from Fort Lauderdale, number 38. We see him in the ball game at strong safety.
Still have Ryan McNeil in a few starters, but most backup players now.
C.J. Richardson, number 19, sophomore out of Dallas. The counter tray, good heavens. Rohan Marley.
That's why they didn't run the counter tonight.
Wow.
He looked like he was shot out of a gun.
But just listen to this one at full speed.
We be jamming there.
Wow. So that pushes it back to the 35-yard line, and San Diego State had gone to plus yardage, and with that loss right there, they're back to 0.
Rohan Marley. Wow. What a player.
Pass almost intercepted. Chad Wilson almost made the pickoff here.
Brett Ingles, the offensive coordinator, said that Rohan Marley just jumps off the film. The tape, when they watch the tape of Miami's games. And he's a backup.
That'll go for 1, and that's it. Maxey is the ball carrier. Bethel who's in the ball game, junior from Philadelphia. Damon Bethel puts the stopper on him, and it will be punting time as Oakball comes back on the field.
So much speed on defense. Just everybody runs so well. Backup punt returner in also.
They're coming after him right up the middle. In fact, they ran by it. The ball was tipped. Jonathan Harris will run away from it. And now that ball has been touched, it was C.J. Richardson who tipped it. And I think when you take a look at it, Mike, he really overran the ball.
He ran right past the punter's leg. They have this punt blocked.
Look at this.
You tell your punt defender to take the ball off the kicker's foot. You see his hands are too high. He's way past it. They're going to kid him in the tape room.
And Tim Brando, what do you have for us?
All right, Ron, thank you very much. Notre Dame taking on Southern California. A huge game for Reggie Brooks. In all, 18 carries for 223 yards. He set up this touchdown run for Jerome Bettis. And right now, the Irish are taking care of Southern California, but it's still close in the fourth quarter, 31-23. That's going to do it for me. I enjoyed my year in the studio with Corso and James. Chris Fowler will join you guys the rest of the way.
Well, we're going to miss you, Tim. You did a great job. We'll catch you again in the bowl games.
Yeah, for sure.
Great job as usual.
Hit in the backfield, and they're going to wind up with positive yard. That's Ferguson, Daniel Ferguson. We saw him against West Virginia. Impressive looking true freshman out of Miami, Columbia. Glaze is out there to make the stop.
See Marshall Faulk over on the sidelines. Had a solid year for San Diego State.
That pass is caught. Costa right on the money with Chris Jones. That's a very long throw. Costa up to the task as he got it on a line out there. Watch this one.
Chris Jones with just a nice leaping grab of Frank Costa's throw. Leave his feet. Good concentration. Brought the ball in for the reception.
Mike, that's a long throw. Kept it on a line too, didn't he?
6'3" Chris Jones. I recruited him out of Florida. He was going to come to Pitt.
A little counter tray action here. Ferguson gets by one tackler, then runs into his own man, and he'll take it to the 44. Now, Marshall Faulk unable to play tonight, but here's what his season has been like. 1,630 yards, over 6 yards per try, 15 touchdowns. And Mike, as far as the competition, top 25 in other games, you see what he got right there.
Good number. 7 touchdowns versus the top 25 teams. The other 8 games, 8 touchdowns.
Handoff straight ahead, and while we're doing comparisons, let's show you the numbers on Garrison Hurst of Georgia. 1547 his numbers, 6.8 yards per try, 21 touchdowns. And today against Georgia Tech, 31 carries, 169 yards, and 3 touchdowns.
Okay. The mascots are in this.
Gino threatening to throw that ball away that Thomas had broken the record with. That's what they were laughing about. Costa back to throw, gets it out there, and he's got it complete. That's Jonathan Harris, and he'll have enough for the Miami first down and stays in bounds as the clock runs with 9 minutes and 43 seconds as they stop it for a moment.
Right now, Dennis Erickson is getting Frank Costa ready for next year.
Entering tonight for Torretta, almost 57% on completions, 275 yards and 18 touchdowns. And now tonight, his numbers. We'll show you in just a moment. That's a little tease there, Mike. Ferguson hit behind the line of scrimmage. That's good penetration there by Leroy Glover. There are the numbers. 19 of 35, 308, and one touchdown. And after he threw the touchdown pass to Lamar Thomas, came to the sidelines, took off the shoulder pads and the rib harnessing, the flak jacket, and put on his warm-up top.
I've been impressed with him. He's a nice young man.
Oh, he is.
He's in graduate school already, but he's got that smile on his face. And we've had Marshall Falk, and I haven't had Garrison Hurst this year. We haven't had one of their games, but Marshall Falk's now standing. We've met with him, young man. So a lot of good players and good people in college football.
This is Ferguson straight ahead. And let's go back to the studios. Come on, guys, not again. Let's go back to studios and Chris Fowler. Chris?
All right, Ron, as long as we're talking Heisman, thought we'd open it to the round table here. 800-plus ballots, 3 points for first, 2 points for second, 1 point for third, and each voter must put 3 names on the ballot. Want to bring in Bino Cook from Pittsburgh. His thoughts. Bino, Marshall Falk not playing tonight. Torretta looking good. Break it down.
Yeah, I think Torretta number 1, number 2, Marshall Falk, and number 3 after tonight, Reggie Brooks. Unbelievable performance. One of the great runners in the history of Notre Dame. He gets my third place vote.
Well, the fumble is recovered by Frank Costa. Our situation, if you have just tuned in, 7 minutes and 40 seconds right now. 63-17. Miami leading over San Diego State. And the scoring breaks down this way. Miami 14 first quarter points, 14 of the second, and then a record time 35 points in the third quarter. There's the pitch. Ferguson. Good cut back inside to the 29, close to the first. Right now, the thing that's happening is we're getting a few plays put back to back here that are not stopping the clock. So let's take a break. 7:13 left to play. We'll be right back. ESPN's presentation of college football is being brought to you by Jeep. There's only one Jeep. And by Radio Shack, America's technology store. Nobody compares. Welcome back to Jack Murphy Stadium in San Diego, California. The Miami faithful have not gone, but a majority of the San Diego faithful have, as it's 63-17 and 7:13 to play in this ball game. That's Maxey spinning off and going back to the 32-yard line. And Chris Fowler, what do you have for us?
Well, Rob, we want to continue our Heisman roundtable. Lee, your top 3.
Okay, Gino Torretta, number 1, Hurst, second, and Brooks, because of what he did against USC tonight, Notre Dame.
Well, might have been if he started earlier.
Absolutely. Falk is not in my top 3.
Yeah, but that's unfortunate because Marshall Falk has rushed for 1,630 yards this year. He missed 3 ball games. I've got Gino Torretta number 1, Falk 2, and I got Brooks tied at number 3 with Garrison Hurst.
What a political call.
They got Marvin Jones, fellas, the linebacker from Florida State. No dominant offensive player. Give third place to him this year, Ron.
Okay, thanks. You know, that, guys, that's what my vote would be. In fact, I think if Steve Entman had not come out to go to the pros, I think Entman would have had a really solid shot at winning this year's Heisman Trophy. Here are the guys that are would-be candidates, but they're in the pros.
Well, the void is because they're gone, Ron. Desmond Howard, Steve Entman, which you talked about today, Carl Pickens, Amp Lee, Todd Marinovich, Tommy Maddox, Terrell Buckley, Marco Coleman, throw them all in there.
The reason I bring up Entman is because if he had shown the dominance that he did last year in a year that's been wishy-washy as far as who's going to be the top Heisman candidate, I think he would have had a real shot at it. We might have had a first.
Solid football player.
Pass is complete at the 35-yard line. I'd vote for Torretta, I guess. Number 2 would be Falk. And beyond that, Garrison Hurst, I guess third.
It's unfair, and you look at Marshall Falk. I said earlier in the broadcast, I thought he was the best back in the country. I still feel that way. Watched him and had a chance to see a couple of his games this year. He's just a great football player, and just took some licks. He had 2 knee injuries this year. He practiced Wednesday night, 8 plays, and then they had a walkthrough Thursday, and it just was apparent he could not go tonight. Remember what he did against Miami's defense last year.
That's right,
when you look at running
yards.
backs.
Yeah.
And here's a relatively young player. He's only been playing 2 years.
Kick off the side of his foot. Luganville's got to be thinking, what else could go wrong? And we'll take a break. 63-17 with 5:28 left in this one. We'll be back to San Diego in just a moment.
And I think the great thing about the rest of our teammates, we're not all individualists trying to go out for individual award. It's kind of funny because most of the defensive guys I said this week, they say, hey, we're going to win this trophy. And, that means a lot because I think it would mean a lot for the rest of my teammates if I did win it, for our coaches. And, hopefully we stay undefeated and win the game.
Yeah, the defensive guys yesterday made a real point of the fact that they want to do everything they can and they have done to help him win the Heisman Trophy. It is a team thing. And Mike, I said this to you 3-4 weeks ago. What really could be interesting is Torretta could win the Heisman, yet he's not the best football player on his team. Adrian Karsten, we understand you have one more update on the injury.
Very good news, Ron. Just spent the last 10 minutes with the entire Rotohaufer family up in the medical service area. Their son, Chris, all x-rays proving negative. No cervical damage, just a cervical sprain at this point. No neurological damage. Now sitting up, speaking with his family. Everyone's in much happier shape up there right now.
That's great. Adrian, thank you.
That's the best news.
Dead ball. Personal foul. Gets the offense. 15-yard play. Second down.
Thoughts of his next game. Just wants that clock to run now so he can start preparing for his bowl game.
Shut up. You see that? You got to get a shot at his gun. Get a shot at his gun. See that?
No, this one has long been over. 63-17 score, so everybody's having fun. Had him showing that he has the good arm as he threw the touchdown pass earlier in the evening to Lamar Thomas. That almost seems like yesterday, Mike. This is Ferguson as he turns the corner and gets across the 45 and stops the clock as he goes out at the 48-yard line. This is our last regular season game, and we want to say a couple of thank yous. It's been, again, a really fun year. And to Mo Davenport, who has to sit back at the studio and doesn't get to come on the road with us all the time, as the executive producer of football, Mo, we say thanks and appreciate all your help and guidance this year. Sometime as camp counselor, is also, besides being executive producer. And, of course, to our entire crew. And, folks, we got the best in football. From the guys in videotape to the cameraman, and down in the truck, the able leadership of Jeff Gowan, our producer, and to Chip Dean, who's just the best as a director. Guys, we say thanks to all of you. It has been fun. It's been a relatively fast 13 weeks. And to our guys up here in the booth also. And they kind of gasped. We didn't mention their name. Billy Werndell, spotter. Todd Hallam, also spotter, the old Kentucky Wildcat. And Freddie Kiger, our ace statistician. Great year, guys. You made it easy for us.
About 5 more people you thank, Ron. You have the whole crowd here. That's all that's left.
Just think more that's left in the stadium. You could shoot a cannon through that far side over there. You wouldn't be in danger of hitting anybody. This is Peterson from the 8-yard line. Heads up the sideline and across the 40 to the 43-yard line. So let's take a break. We'll be right back after this. 3:46 left to play, and improbable as it seems, they have started a wave of sorts. Not much of a white cap on this one, I can tell you.
I'll tell you what, wait a minute, I'm going to stand up too. Somebody has to represent this side of the field.
Larry Dempsey, the ball carrier. Tackle number 49, Robert Bass. In one.
Now Luganville thinking of what could have been. And this has been, as Mike said, because of injuries and other adversity, it's been a season that they thought might have been, but it just didn't happen. Jeffers goes off the left side. He'll be tackled at the 50. And let's go back to Chris Fowler for another update. Chris.
Ron, just north of the I-5 in the Coliseum. USC driving, final minute, down 8 against Notre Dame. Rob Johnson looks deep. Travis Hanna will haul it in inside the 10-yard line. After a sack on 2nd and goal, Johnson will drop back and get pressure. Throws to the end zone, and Tom Carter makes the interception for the Irish. 31-23 is the final. 10 straight over the Trojans for the Irish. Back to you.
Wow.
Hey, that Notre Dame football team, I tell you, they are playing as well as anybody in the country right now.
Well, they've certainly hit their stride. This is the best they've played all year long.
Good coaching job by Lou Holtz this year.
Pass knocked down. Well, tonight's Visa players of the game are from Miami, Lamar Thomas. And you see his numbers. 5 receptions that put him in the record books. The most by any Miami receiver. 117 yards, 2 touchdowns. And for San Diego State wide receiver Darnay Scott. Long return, 76 yards in returns, 1 touchdown receiving tonight. As part of their continuing effort to further the development of amateur athletics, Visa proud to donate $1,000 to each of these universities and $1,000 to the U.S. Olympic team on behalf of these athletes. So Miami calls a timeout, and let's take it with them. 2:09 left here in San Diego. Okay, it's Jason Rose who's going to be punting. As you look at Marshall Faulk on the sideline, he and his teammates trying to find something to smile about tonight. There's not a lot as far as what's on the field, but it's not the end of the world by any means.
Had to kill him tonight not to play because he was so involved in this game and just hurt him badly, not that he couldn't physically play.
Jonathan Harris, and there's a flag. Not given the opportunity to catch that one, so there'll be a step off against San Diego State. And let's send it back to Chris Fowler. Chris?
All right, Ron, you guys talking about Miami's next opponent in a national championship game. It all comes down to the Alabama-Florida SEC championship game next Saturday. I want to go back to Bino Cook in Pittsburgh for his thoughts on that game. Bino, what kind of a chance do you give the Gators?
Well, it's going to be awful tough, Chris, because I think Alabama's the better team, and Alabama's also going to have the advantage of having the crowd, the games in Birmingham, as you know. I look for Alabama to win.
I think they'll win because of that great defense. And their offense, this is an offense that scored 31 points in Starkville against Mississippi State that's got a great defense. I like Alabama to win. I think they're a good team. Everybody knocks their offense, but that's why there's 2 units, Coach. You got an offense, you got a defense. Regardless, they score.
Unanimous. Alabama wins because they play at Legion Field where they won 75% of the game and always bet on a good defense against a good offense.
That would set up a 1 versus 2 for the first time in 5 years. Bobby Bowden has to hope that in his hometown, the team he grew up rooting for, Alabama, somehow loses so that he could have a fiesta scenario, Ron.
Yeah. And that's about the only way he could come out in that situation. Of course, the folks down in College Station are hoping that that Alabama would stumble so that they would get an opportunity to take on the next highest rated team, because Texas A&M would take a step forward. Dennis Erickson. play here, and Ferguson breaks it open across the 40 and to the 45. And Chris, let's go back to you for a moment.
High in that SEC. Ron, we're talking about scenarios. You know, if Alabama and Florida should be tied at the end of regulation in that SEC title game, you know how they settle it? They put the ball on the 25-yard line, give each team 4 plays to get into the end zone or kick a field goal, and the first one to do it advances. So it would be an overtime kind of playoff that they use in 1AA.
They must have their own rules in the SEC. They have a playoff game, and then they're the first one to play a tiebreaker. I don't think they're going to need a tiebreaker in that game.
I do salute them for the progressive thinking, though, and I'm glad they're doing it. If it forces us even closer to getting the national championship game, then so be it. I like your thought, Mike, of instead of everybody staggering their schedule and everything, start the thing at the same time, either the last weekend in August or the first weekend in September, and everybody plays straight through, and then you go into the playoffs, say the top 16 teams. Here's our bowl week or weeks coming up. The Silver Bowl on December the 18th, 8 o'clock start. That is Bowling Green taking on Nevada. Then the Copper Bowl on the 29th, the Weiserloch Copper Bowl, Washington State against Utah. Then the Holiday Bowl on the 30th. It is Hawaii against Illinois. Then on Thursday, December the 31st, we got the Independence Bowl. It'll be Wake Forest against Oregon. And then in the Liberty Bowl, the Ole Miss Rebels against the Air Force Academy. And we got a couple more we'll tell you about after this play. Boy, Glover has maintained his intensity through the ball game as he really put Ferguson on his backside. And the last two that we didn't get to tell you about, January the 1st, Friday, January the 1st, 11 a.m. Eastern time, Boston College against Tennessee in the Hall of Fame. And then the Peach Bowl on January the 2nd. That's the 2nd now. Mississippi State against North Carolina. Three seconds down to 2, and again the final score: Miami 63 and San Diego State 17. For Mike Gottfried and Adrian Carson, Ron Franklin saying good night from San Diego, California. Now let's go to Chris Fowler in our scoreboard studio.
And the San Diego Sheriff's Office.